that this advisor was in the process of trying to summon devils, including Asmodeus himself, directly into Sunblight. Honor used Butterball to find an illusionary door to a pit housing dozens of corpses, and the pit itself was held within a tower, which seemed to be on the plane of Avernus. Past the throne room, we tried to get the Duchess to play along while we pretended to hold her hostage, but she resisted, and we began to scare her. She ran as soon as the battle kicked off with the Duke in his throne room, and she disappeared before anyone could catch up to her. We fought Zardoc and his guards in the throne room, bookended by walls of lava. Halfway through the fight, four invisible mages appeared and used fire magic, with the head mage being powered up by people falling into the firewalls. Once they were all killed, we fought two Quaggoths, which were holding an enslaved sovereign Myconid named Xyloth, who we helped escort back to the Underdark. The session ended with Abel recalling the dragon and spending 3 hours to overload its systems above the mountain which housed Sunblight, as to send it hurtling into the peak and shatter it, scuttling it permanently. The party then all stepped inside their books, leveling up.
All right. Sorry, guys. I'm just waiting for a code so I can get Twitch back up as well. This is kind of strange. Has anyone logged into Twitch recently by any chance?
I'm on Twitch right now.
I'm on Twitch
Um,
also.
So when I logged in, it said my login has expired. So I put in my username, and it asked for that code for.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it asked me that for me today too when I logged in.
What's strange is that it says it thinks I'm logging in from a new device, which is weird, but I have to like get the code to like get in, and I'm sure I'm on the right email with like I'm looking at all my stuff too. There's no like spam or anything, and it's not showing you.
You're not the only person who had difficulty with that.
Yeah,
This is kind of strange. Let's see. I mean, worst case, there's a way around this where we just use Discord, but I do need Twitch because I need to show pictures, so it's going to be tough on Discord. But hold on 1 second. Just see if I can figure out what the hell's going on.
don't worry, no rush. Drink out of this mind flayer head.
This is so strange. Let's see. Let's look at every email box and see.
So we're not actually level 8 yet.
I
Yes,
think we
no,
were
we
all
are.
No, you
All
are.
right.
As soon as you wake up, like you've gone through your books, you've been doing your training. You come out. It acts like a long rest though. You're not exhausted or anything.
So,
Um,
to clarify, this is when Abel comes back from his group B, but not brother
or me.
or Kino.
correct. That is correct. Now Kino is caught up to where Abel left, but Brother's not caught up at all yet.
Okay.
Yeah, Brother's not caught up at all, and at the very least, Kino is caught up in that regard. All right, let's see here.
I was thinking about it. We probably should throw that crown in the bag of holding, if only so if it ends up being useful to us for some arbitrary reason later on, like, chances are we'll never use it, but just in case.
Yeah, there's also a lot of powers in play, and I would hate for after we leave a devil to walk by or something because, yeah, it might curse them, but I would imagine that.
We need to crush it or keep it.
You'd hate that. You'd
I-
hate for Dumbo to walk by.
I think we hold on to it for now, and if it ends up never being useful, we end up destroying it, but for now, just in case.
Yeah.
We should at least identify it so we can figure out its application in case we ever need to pull an emergency switch.
We'd paint the rest of the stuff in our bag.
I don't think that's ever been a mechanic previously, and I don't think it would be now. Out
yeah,
of
I
character,
don't-
I'm saying this.
I don't think we have to worry about it rubbing off on the stuff in the bag. I just think we need to worry about not being exposed to it ourselves.
Well, I have his head. We cut off his head last session, and I have that.
I
But
also
I
have
mean,
things we could put the actual shard, like if you're worried about physical contact between our items, I have like a bag that we could put it in that we could then put in the bag of holding if you're worried about that.
yeah, or we could try lead foil since I know that lead blocks some types of magic. Well, thin lead and yeah, I can't remember what spell that blocks, but
We
it's
need
some
to
of
be
them.
careful with Shardolin actual items, but there is going to be so much Shardolin around here, it's not even funny between the Crash Dragon and the mine and everything else. Like,
What if you put on the crown and it lets you control the dragon?
No, we don't put the crown on. I have
Well,
put crowns on before and it's gone very badly.
we already know what controls the dragon because Abel just controlled it.
I guess.
It was
Yeah.
it was the pillars.
What? Yeah. What if it's like a mind link thing? Like
it could be like a remote device.
Well, the dragon's destroyed at this point, so
Yeah, it'd be
I
a
think
moot
we
Oh,
hold on
yeah,
to it
yeah, yeah.
just in case, and we destroy it later on if we must. And I mean, we've probably been exposed to more Shardolin, like radiation, I'll call it, in the past like 2 sessions than this being in our bag will ever expose us to.
Radioactive.
And
So-
as we're leveling up, Chris, I'm just going to reach out to my draconic book or my devil draconic summoning book.
And what do you want to do by reaching out?
I want to sort of put my hands on the cover and I want to say that I'm thankful for everything it's done and that I could sense it had some sentience and if there was anything I could do to gain a little bit more of its favor because
Okay,
it hasn't
yeah.
really reached out to me.
Yep, it has not responded to you yet, but that is good to know. Okay, and I did get the code finally. Yay. All right, hold on. Let me just put that in.
Has anyone ever wired up a home like surround sound entertainment system? While we wait for Chris.
Vaguely, I have done some of it. Why?
I just bought one, like a Sony home theater system, and it's a lot of like got 100 feet of speaker cables, and I gotta figure out how to do this week.
You're gonna
Well,
be doing an external.
I'm sorry.
Are you going to be hardwiring into the wall or doing external?
External. I'm gonna because it's only 3.1, so it's all gonna be forward facing. I wanted to get that, and then I'll see how the sound quality is, and if it necessitates 5 or 7.1 surround. Because my living room's big, but it also is very echoey, so I could kind of fake that surround
well,
sound.
in that case, you probably just need a good set of wire strippers, and that's the only tool you'll really need.
Yeah, pretty much in Terminators.
Cool deal.
And also, the new wireless sound bars aren't really that expensive.
Yeah. I got a Bose 300 in my second case. I got a Bose 300 in my office, and I was gonna get a Bose 700 for the living room, but we decided to go with the hardwired because the sound quality was just you couldn't beat it, even if it was Bose 700 was good, but the wired speaker was fantastic.
All right, guys. I think I got in. Also, I did bump it to 4K. I don't know if you can actually see 4K in Discord, but you can check. Let's see.
When you hit stream on Discord, it gives you the option. Do you have Discord Nitro?
Yeah, that's why it has source as an option, and it's supposed to do it
Yeah.
at 4K if it's 4K, but we'll see.
In that case, it'll at least attempt to stream at 4K, whether or not
Yep.
we receive it. If you are streaming in 4K, I'd recommend bumping the frames down to only 15, just because it's a lot of bandwidth.
I do have a gigabit up, so I'm hoping it'll be okay, but we'll see. Yep. Yeah, I have gig internet now, so I have a gig up
Nice.
and down, which is insanity. Usually
Nice.
gigabit. Yeah, usually it's just gigabit down and like maybe 30 up, but I have the full thing.
It is a little jumpy for me.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah,
getting-
on the
It's
download
probably,
side,
yeah, it's because it's probably Nitro. Nitro honestly kind of sucks. Hold on.
the
let's see.
Nitro's fine. I just think it's a lot of bandwidth on our side as well, which is why I was
Yeah,
mentioning that we might want to.
Yeah, let me put it to 1080p and I'll put it to, hold on one second. Let me do this again.
Yeah, Discord streaming, it has a few kinks in it.
Honestly, I read about. Supposedly, it's just that they're like outsourcing their infrastructure. They're not even using AWS. That sucks. But all right, is that a lot better? Is that
Yeah,
at
that's
least
better.
60 frames per second or 30 at least?
I think I'm getting 30 right now. It's better than it
Okay.
was.
Yeah, looks fine to me.
All right. Cool. Okay.
Just
Cool.
try to rearrange my screen so it looks better.
Yeah, the thing that I really do not like about Discord is that once you get 10 people in, it's really bad, like insanely bad, no matter what your bandwidth is. So that's also sucky, but whatever. All right. So Abel, once you go through, get out of your book, wake up. You took your time to go through this as well. As we discussed last time, you have a couple different options now with the dragon itself. Um, and we are going to pick up literally right where we left. So it's going to be 8 hours later. Everybody's going to come out of their books. This guy is gone.
Elda's just lying on the ground there.
And I'm assuming I
Yep.
didn't get a response from my tome.
You're not sure.
I
You
still
may
love that
you might
spiritual weapon.
you might well be ticking off boxes, but it doesn't actually say anything to you,
Okay,
and you
sounds
don't
good.
feel anything. Yeah. Yep.
So, are we actually grabbing that crown? Because my vote on that is yes.
Yeah,
I
I'm good for it.
yeah.
Go to grab it and store it.
All right, sounds good. I just want to make sure before we move on, that way it doesn't become an issue later on.
Yep,
Yep.
we have the crown and then we have the two small, expensive looking figures.
Now the things that are left unresolved, so I can categorize them for you too. We do have potentially like an unchecked chain whore running around somewhere. We also have all of 10 towns is in disarray. Probably hundreds of people dead, thousands of people dead. You're not sure. There's all of that going on top of it. Obviously, you have the Nautiloid that's crashed somewhere outside. And then you also have whatever, like there's a bunch of other various things, obviously, going on within the castle, and of course there's the whatever is beyond um, in the Underdark. If you guys decided to go that route as well.
We had we just helped our old boy get home.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I think the most urgent, and obviously everyone can kind of go around and speak their mind. I think the most urgent is 10 towns because there are Durgar out there. I would like to be outside when the summer star goes off again, which means being back in Bryn Shaddar or East Haven or wherever at 2 o'clock, um, so that we could maybe wipe through the town a little bit easier and help any refugees get back.
I feel like it might be worthwhile to go for the Nautilus first, since it sounds like the Durgar were keeping them in check, and without the Durgar around, they might actually be able to get up to something.
Well, just so we can clarify real quick. Do you want me to put the crown in the bag of sawdust?
That's a good idea.
Does that consume the sawdust?
No.
Doesn't seem to.
Do you
Well,
have
I'm
enough?
against keeping it. I think it's a bad idea. If you guys want to do it, we'll throw it in.
Is there enough room in? I forget what the dimensions of the bag of sawdust are, but is it like is there enough for the two figures as well?
Yes. There's not enough. There's not enough for like a full sword, but there's enough for two figures in the crown. Yeah.
I think it's a dangerous item. Be wary of, but I'd hate to need it and have destroyed it.
That's what I'm thinking, basically. I think it'll be worthwhile to eventually cast Identify on it, just so we can figure out the exact usage of it. And then
Yeah.
once we've done that,
And who's gonna put it in the bag of sawdust? Because as you guys know, even the sawdust itself is somewhat dangerous. Anything that nullifies magic and is
I'm gonna be
fine like
honest.
that is bad.
I would like to identify it. I'd rather know sooner than later.
Yeah,
Can
it's worth
identify.
taking the 10 minutes.
I have a pretty strong mind.
Okay. Yep.
If you guys are watching over me, and maybe let's just do it now, and I can, think on it and Go from there.
Yeah, I think it's worthwhile to identify it just so we have a better idea of what we even are actually holding on to.
Okay. If you guys do take the 10 minutes to identify it, the crown has all the properties of Chardolin, which means it is going to impart madness on you eventually if you come in contact with it. However, it does allow you to use charm as a free action once a day. So it's got an inherent charm spell built into it that activates on any creature that you can see up to 300 feet. Um, the other thing though is that Abel, on your identify, it's got some kind of infernal energy bound to it that you can't get through.
Right. Um, just because I speak Infernal, any notes
Yep.
or inscriptions on it that would tip me off?
The only thing, yes. So the thing that you would recognize is that whatever this magic item must have been constructed by a demon lord themselves, but that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's basically got the residual like markings of like demon lord royalty on it. But other than that, it does have some kind of infernal magic that doesn't pass through identify.
I think I necessarily had to hold on to it for a minute, the ritual.
Yep, which is fine.
So
Yeah, yeah. You don't start. Yeah, so at this point, you realize that it looks like you have to come in contact with anything Chardolin for up to an hour to really start to seep in its effects. However, some items are more potent than others, and if it's a particularly potent item, even a minute, even a couple seconds could theoretically do something to you. But in this case, the crown does not seem to be affected.
does it
Most
need to
items
be
are around an hour.
attuned to use the abilities?
Yes, absolutely. It has to be attuned.
But
Takes an hour. It takes an hour of wearing the crown to attune to it.
I'm not doing that. I'm just
Yep.
seeing if I can tell, like, in the identify whether, in order to use the charms.
Yeah, yeah. You do have to. You absolutely have to attune to it to use this item. Yeah.
And then I would pretty much spit that out as I'm learning it out.
Yep.
Consciousness.
You have
Oh,
noticed that the firewall has started to dim just a bit, and the heat has gone down just a bit.
Well, I don't know about I don't know how useful the charm effect is, since, at least personally, that's something I am already capable of doing. But we should be wary of the connection to the Infernal, as you said, but it might still prove to be useful in the future.
I mean, it's probably very identifiable and something someone could track. So keeping it in the bag is probably a very, very good idea.
I think it's a must.
So as you guys are going through and discussing this, since you've spent the entire like the 8 hours in here, you do notice that there is a what looks like ghostly ethereal, very red though. It's not like you've seen ghosts in the Tomb of Horrors that are this very soft, glowing green color. This is a red color, and it looks like a 12-foot tall demon. He's right here in this section here, and huh, God, the only demon I have, unfortunately. And so he's looking at the group and looks very, very, very confused at first. Um, and and remember, he's shadowy as well, see-through and ethereal. And he says, "Well, that's unexpected. Um, who are you? You got rid of all of our little pets?"
Your pets, I say in Infernal.
Uh, Kino, you look at this demon, and number one, he has on this very distinct golden armor that has the signs of Asmodeus all over it. He looks like he's important in maybe the Blood War or something, because he also has trinket kills, meaning that he has shrunken the heads of other demons and devils and other things potentially, and he basically has like 40 or 50 of these. You can't tell, all strewn around his neck in a necklace. Probably other generals from the other side. and he says, "Well, he says you're lucky that I can't get to you. Um, at the same time, even though this is inconvenient, this just accelerates things." He looks over the room. He looks at the wall. Um, and then he goes back and he says, "But I will give you an opportunity to tell me what happened, and maybe I'll go easy on you."
Zardoc overstepped his bounds, and we killed him because of
Abel,
it.
yep, and Abel, while he's talking, you can make an Arcana check in the background to see what's going on with this ethereal. You're
Oh,
closest to him, so you can try to figure out how he's talking to you, if he's really there, all that fun stuff. Go ahead, though. Sorry.
And I like your necklace.
Yeah, so he looks a little confused at you. How many people speak Infernal, by the way?
you.
Just
Well done.
two? Just Abel and Kino? Okay. All right. He looks back and he says, "Well, I'm sure that you've by now figured out that these little baby dwarf things were not worshiping Deep Dora. They were worshiping our god
Yeah.
Asmodeus, the one god. And I'm also sure by now that you've figured out that there's much more going on here than just a little Duergar uprising." He said, "Do me a favor. If if you're going to be a nuisance and kill our pets, you might as well go kill all the pets. And at the very least, we can start over and make do with it. Otherwise, I'll just bring in the nine hells and overrun this entire temple."
Why don't you?
What'd you get for your Arcana check,
I
Abel?
got a 13.
Okay. The only thing that you know for sure is that it does not look like he is physically here. This definitely looks like it's some kind of magical projection. He is not actually in the room with you. Anyway, go ahead.
I'll look
You
back
know.
at him a little smugly, and I will say, why don't we do each other some favors, and you withdraw all of your men that aren't Durgar, so that they do not get killed when we wipe through the rest of this place. Because look, the Durgar are a nuisance to us, and we will take care of them just as we will take care of the ones outside of the fortress in 10 towns. But I see no reason for there to be, you know, why does this need to become a war on devils? It's Duergar right now.
He looks at you and he says, "I was just toying with you. That's a complete test." And he puts his hands up, and you can see that he's holding what looks like a small, like maybe doll. Abel, you're really the only one close enough to even see details because it's very hard to see through this visage. But it's like a doll or whatever, and he crumbles it, and uh, and from where he's standing, although you're not sure if this is simply just the projection, but an aura of red spreads out as he does it. And he says, "I actually just took care of them." He said, "However," he said, "and that's just going to fuel whatever ritual we have planned for this entire thing." He said, "However, just tell me, did you end up killing all these Duergar? Did you get here by luck? We're trying, and you can tell that he's trying to figure something out. He needs information from you, obviously, and he must be
Um,
telling you these riddles because he needs information."
I certainly
he
helped.
hasn't taken an accounting of it all, but yeah, I mean, they're all dead by us,
"How many did
or
you kill?" He looks over to you now, Ava. He goes over to you. How many of these small dwarven things did you kill?
only a handful. I don't really keep body counts myself. I
No, no,
mean,
no, no. I mean the whole group. How many did you kill?
I have a
Uh,
number.
I don't know. I didn't count.
Perhaps it is best
Well,
if
what do you
we
say,
do
Abram?
not.
Oh, I was just saying, Ebram has the number. I've been keeping track. If you recall, I've been cutting the fingers off of everyone that we killed.
Yeah. So if
Perhaps
you,
it is.
I was gonna say if are you like almost trying to interject, Abram?
Oh well, I just reminding everyone because they would see him.
Okay, that's
I
fine. So if
remember
he says
because
it, he'll go right over to you, Abram. He says, "So number."
I
I
have
mean,
I was going to go, do we know how many of the Dugar we killed and
I
then
we don't
transferred?
have an exact count since, like, back in the smithy, we kind of just ran out of there and they were just dying behind us.
Well, I have 32 fingers.
But
And he says,
in
well,
character, I'd say perhaps it's best if we do not make dealings with this person without knowing his reasoning.
yeah, and he looks at you and he says, well, it's certainly too late since you've already told me one figure. And he says, he looks over and he says, oh, you're one of those half small dragon men. He says, so he says, here's how this will go. This was inconvenient that
Just
you
to
stopped
clarify, Elder
things.
is a
Yeah.
she.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry, I keep calling you a he. Sorry. She, uh, so one thing that's interesting is that as you're looking at him, he keeps fiddling with whatever that thing was that he crumbled, and as he keeps fiddling with it, every single time like he goes to recrush it, that same effect happens. That red aura that expands keeps happening um, over and over again. So and so as he's talking to you, he will go over to you, by the way, Elda, and he'll be like, so so you don't want to talk to me?
Less
You
of
can tell
that,
that he's trying to intimidate you.
less of that, and more so just not wanting to give you information without any due reason on our hand. After all, dealings should be two-sided and not one-sided.
So he goes back and he looks at you again, Abel, and he says, anyway, back to our business here. He says, so you've made things inconvenient for me. Why shouldn't I just open up the gates and run you through right now? I can bring over 300, 400 demons and just go through and slaughter all of you.
My guess is that would be difficult for you to do and cost you a great deal of resources. You don't want to. You'd rather do it an easier way.
He said, well, why give me a reason why not to, though?
We're not at war with you. And
Like I said,
He said, well, you've certainly made things inconvenient for me because we were using those dwarves.
Did you put up a sign?
So he says, anyone else wanna speak with me before I just leave angry?
our fight is not with you. We I don't want to needlessly kill devils. Um,
I'm okay with
in
it.
fact, I he's a different story, but uh, you'll probably see there's one running around that is my doing that they're here. Chain Devil. Part of the reason I can't give you a definitive number on the Durgar that we have killed is because we sort of left that devil to its own devices.
And there also were the devils that we kind of just killed and never even saw. Not devils, Durgar we killed and never even saw. I would not have said that in character. I just brain typo.
Gotcha.
We, after all, they were threatening us, and they were
Yeah.
threatening people
Yeah.
who we
Yeah.
have
And,
need to protect.
And out of
and
character,
everyone can understand this because as he starts speaking to people that, for whatever reason, he can like plainly see do not speak Infernal, he will speak in Common. So everyone can answer this. Like this is not just an Infernal thing.
out of character, we have 32 confirmed kills.
Yeah.
We
So
definitely have more than that.
Well, I have 32. I kept 32 confirmed kills. I was letting you guys know. If you want to present that information, you can present that information.
he
I
says, go ahead.
or no, I was gonna say I'm going to not say that.
Okay. Um, he uh, he does say, well, he says, I'm growing a bit impatient. Um, it's up to you. You can do whatever you want. I mean, I could stop you right now. He said, I'm trying to be forthright to you and get information that I need out of you. And he says, if you don't want to give it to me, then I'll just have to do what I need to do.
That sounds just vague enough to be worrying.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
step forward a little more. I'm
What
gonna
are you
go.
doing, and what information do you want?
I need to know if I can
I'm
salvage
being
this situation.
know how many people we killed. It's several dozen, probably.
He says, "Well, I need to know if I can take a situation that has confronted itself to be inconvenient and still make it convenient for my uses." He said, "Otherwise, I need to go back and take care of the situation that you've created." He said, "Yes, I'm being vague."
Well, we don't work with devils, so
I step forward.
Yep.
And I just say in Infernal, he doesn't speak for all of us. I have it under control.
That's right, he doesn't. I do.
I flash my holy symbol at him and just go, we have it under control.
Yeah, so he's definitely confused. He is a bit confused when he sees Tiamat. And he goes back. He thinks to himself, and he says, "Well," he says, "Hmm," and
Like I
he
said,
pauses, says nothing. Go ahead.
I'm not here to kill devils. So let us deal with the Durgar and salvage what we can from Ten Towns, and we'll go our separate ways.
He said, "I already took care of the Duragard. Don't get in our way again. You can leave. I'll let you leave alive, but do not get in again." Brother, anyone who's untrustworthy devil, Grin, obviously, all you can all
Yeah,
make insight. You can all make
I've
insight
been
checks. Yeah,
Oh, I don't trust this either, so.
yeah. So go
guidance.
for it. Go for it, Alvin.
I'm good with this situation. I do have a passive insight of 16, but I'm not going to make any checks.
20 on my insight.
Guess I think what I think.
No,
So so you would know, Kino, that he is definitely semi bluffing here. He doesn't seem to actually be in any position from his mannerisms to be able to do anything that he's saying. The threats are probably hollow, but that's private. Who got the next best? What'd you get, brother?
I got a 16 total.
Okay, a 16 is just enough to know that this. You don't know which threats are hollow, but it does seem like he has some hollow threats here, and he's literally just trying to get information. Kino, what you're putting together, knowing a little bit about the structure in not only in Avernus but in the Blood War in general, is that if this was a piece, if this was a chess piece within that, and it would look very badly on him if it didn't go through. So he's got higher ups to deal with essentially. But anyway, so as he looks back, he says, "Well," he says, "I guess I will let you leave. I'll let you leave alive." He said, "I've already taken care of the Duragar. Do not come back here. If you do come back here, I will make preparations so that you'll regret it. Um, let us
How's he
see."
saying all this in infernal or common?
No, he's saying in common now. He's saying in common because he realizes not everyone speaks it. He's saying, "I want you to leave. Don't come back. If you do come back, I'm going to open up a planar gate, and I'm going to make sure that you regret it." And he starts to fade, and visibly,
oh,
like it starts to get. Yep.
um, here. Where's here?
As he fades away, and he says, "Where else? The nine hells."
Just to let you know, we're looting the entire place before we leave.
Yeah. So he does disappear. Probably heard that as he went through. But yeah.
You
Yeah,
seem
he is
nice.
gone. Yeah.
Well, that went smoothly.
Yeah. Who knew devils are so cautious?
I did.
he was a coward. If he was any kind of threat, he wouldn't have tried to make a deal with us.
He didn't exactly try to make a deal with us, though. He more so just threatened us, and none of us took the bait.
Yeah, I don't think it really matters. I mean, we got what we came for, or at least
Yeah.
What
I
would you
did.
guys like to do now? Yep.
I mean,
All right. Brother, do you have a message?
I have a few.
Maybe start popping them because we should probably talk to Duvessa.
The speaker. Yeah.
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 I would like to confirm the death of the dragon. I mean, my calculations are usually pretty solid.
Oh, so actually explain that though. What did you guys decide on dragon death as far as like, did you break it up above the castle? Where did you let it basically self-destruct?
Did
We
we
had
say
a couple ideas.
the
I believe
peak?
it was the mountain atop above the stronghold here.
was
Okay.
here effectively, yeah.
Okay.
Side.
Right. So basically, you littered kind of the top of the castle with Charlemagne, but
Yeah.
didn't litter it elsewhere. Yep, that's fine. Yep.
This is going to be an EPA site for years.
Yeah.
We're making jobs.
I mean,
Someone's got to clean that up.
it already kind of was. It's just we're returning the Chardolin to where they mined it.
Didn't fit through the
Recycling.
Yeah.
I'd like to go out, confirm the wreckage, see if there's anything I should recover off of it, and
Sure.
we get on our way dispatching the Durgar that are harassing 10 towns.
And when you say wreckage, you're talking about the Nautiloid wreckage, correct?
I meant the dragon.
Oh, the dragon wreckage. Yeah,
I'm
I was just about to remind you that you're not exactly sure where the Nautiloid is. So you just have to go look for
I'm
it.
very
Yeah.
interested in that, but that's I don't feel like there's a clock on that.
Right. Yep.
I also, you mentioned that bag you have it has properties to inhibit magic.
Well, it's just not there. So if it's not there, it's hard. It's like somewhere else. I mean, specifically, I can
No,
tell you.
the sandbag one I meant.
Oh,
Not
that
sand,
one.
sawdust.
Oh, yeah,
Perhaps,
that.
perhaps we should acquire some of that silverish liquid, and store it in there just for in case it ever becomes useful.
If a vessel would actually hold it.
What do you think? Would you need to hold it with?
Probably a magical container.
I mean, I was assuming that we could just use a glass vial.
We've had issues with toxic substances eating through glass before.
I see.
What do we know about the liquid? I mean,
So basically, what we learned is that it's the blood of a god, which I cannot remember the name of at the given time, and it kind of is just kind of like magical steroids, and it makes you stronger, but it also makes you a lot more angry, which we don't really want to use that, but it could also be nice to, have.
It's basically the venom toxin from Batman.
We don't really want to touch it, but it could be useful.
You'd think maybe some sort of consecrated vial would help hold it better.
I mean, I had heard a story of one who just kept it in a normal vial around his neck. The reason why I think we should, put it away from ourselves, because I do not wish for the effects to take over any of us. I don't think that'd be a nice fate for any of us.
I mean, if brother can tell me the properties of the liquid, I can make a container that'll be resistant to it. I'm confident in that.
We can try.
If it's holy magic, then holy spells probably would help contain it better.
Well, if it is not possible, I do understand.
Chris, can I make some sort of crafting or arcana check, or maybe brother can make an alchemical check on?
Oh, we'd have to go back to it first, wouldn't we?
Yeah, you'll have to go back. You'll have to go back to it in the thing. You can brother can do the alchemical check on the thing, but you're gonna have someone will have to do an arcana check on it as well to figure out what's going on with it. But yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's on the way out anyway, so I figure, why not?
It's actually just so you guys know, the way down to that was actually a different corridor from getting out exactly, but it is, down in that general vicinity. That is correct.
I'm
It's
just
just
gonna.
kind of out of your way if you're looking to leave, but
And also, the Duchess is running about. Keep that in mind.
Yeah,
Rush
that's
is already killed.
right. Or potentially she's not even in the Citadel anymore. But
it
all
might
those could be correct.
it might be a good idea to maybe do a sending to her or a message to her. I mean, and say that the throne room's clear and she's free to come back and claim it.
All right,
And
so we're going to the speaker, the Duchess. Am I alerting the rest of the Avengers while I'm at it?
Um. Well, hmm. What do you mean?
Well, to at least tell everyone else of what we know now.
I think that's a good idea. Also, Abel, did you and me last night we were in the tomb again?
Oh yeah, I thought that was just a dream I had.
No, I was skeptical to bring it up, but because I don't remember leaving, so I thought it was a dream. But you got out.
It was kind of a nightmare.
Yeah, you went unconscious. The soul jar. The one that
You know,
yeah.
wrapped and yeah,
What
it
tomb?
was stressful.
It's a long story.
Oh,
Abel, you got to meet everyone?
Yeah, by other people.
You should probably get work on a new steel defender, huh?
No, at this
Uh,
point, Abel, you've already created the new one. Maybe this gets very confusing quickly, but it was actually destroyed before you got in here, and you've already recreated it. Yes, that gets very confusing, but yeah.
I made the new version with my newest lessons already. Yeah, I forgot about that. I had to gather parts for that.
Yeah, everyone seemed to really like Abel, especially Erasmus.
and which, by the way, Tyler, you do have the friendship bracelets. Remember?
Yes, I do. It's in my backpack and I'm not saying anything. Don't want to spoil the
And
surprise.
there's one for Amanda and one for you as well. You made two.
Oh, you got one for me?
Yeah, you made
Oh,
two.
thanks, Erasmus. Now I really want to make sure we don't die horribly in the apocalypse.
Okay.
Yes, you
So,
were very.
so what's your guys' plan? What would you like to do?
I guess I'll start rattling off sendings.
Okay. If you do the sending to the speaker first, is that the idea?
Yeah.
All right. So the speaker is going to tell you that the speaker is going to give you first of all a casualty count. They're going to ask if you're still alive. Um, does sending allow you to go back and forth? I don't remember.
No, it's only they can reply. I'd have to send another message to
All right. Well,
reply.
then in that case, that's not that wouldn't be the case because they would know that. So, um, what do you say to them? What do you say to the speaker?
I will say the Duergar King is dead. There is a wider plot of an uprising of the hells afoot. What's the damage of 10
Yeah.
towns?
All right.
And that
So
the dragon is killed as well.
great. So the speaker responds and says, "Thousands dead. Every town at Tin Town is in ruins. However, all Duragar burst into flames and died at Caer Denig, which is apparently where she's at, but doesn't explain anything. Um, there's a person with us named Vlin that needs your help. This is the wizard that I spoke with you before. She'd like you to come to Caer Denig, and meet her. She says she knows more about the dragon and about Auril and several other things that she needs to talk to this group about. And nothing else.
That was the person with the intel of the fortress that said we should head back. Maybe we should listen to them.
Yeah, I will relay that information to the rest of the group.
Okay.
Aw, I
I'd
wanted
say
to
also,
look for more stuff.
Yeah, I do too.
yeah, I mean, we can always come back to this, but wow, do we need
Oh,
to?
we don't know if we can.
I think that if we're gonna do stuff here, we ought to do it now, especially since it sounds like all of the Durgar are dead.
Yeah.
We always
And
assume
we've
we
been
can go
told
back
to-
to places later.
We've been told to not come back. I think we searched the place now. Well, most things in here are dead. And we are told to not come back, but we're still here, so we're not breaking that agreement.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
they might,
even if there were Duragar in here now, it seems presumably that they're dead, even if they were down here. So if you guys want to do a casing of the entire thing real quick to see what's left and what's going on, it will take you around an hour and a half to walk through everything, theoretically. And
They
take
might
a
be-
look.
We'd be using the map as well.
Yeah.
they might.
What time
Yeah.
of day would it be right now?
You're not sure because you're not outside, but you have slept for 8 hours. So even when you get outside, it's hard to tell once you get outside. But Abel, with his timepiece, if he goes through and activates it, can actually tell you what time of day it is once he's outside.
They might be twisted, cursed, broken, abominable dwarves, but they're dwarves nonetheless, and our people tend to bury gold and trinkets away for a rainy day. We can certainly squirrel something out of here.
Are you saying this about the Durgar?
Yeah,
Yep.
they have a tendency to hide things. We all do.
That's true.
I mean, we like to hoard, but we also really, really protect our
So
hoard.
we got here. I just want to. So we got here probably like 16 hours ago after the light. We've now slept 8 hours and probably spent 8 hours trekking around, so we
Yeah.
probably have a little bit while until light comes back, so I think it's worthwhile to just look around. Better than trekking out in the storm.
Yeah.
I
Also,
want at least a good hour or so to look at the dragon.
Yep. Now, once you get outside, I will tell you this so we can start preparing. The weather has gotten much worse now, which means that before you were able to negate a bunch of the wilderness survival rules because of not only your clothing that you had, that you picked up in Luskin, but also because of the fact that the weather wasn't so bad. This will start that section. So just as a heads up, travel is going to get a lot more of a pain in the ass. Yep.
I mean, you can also, the timepiece should be reactivated and ready to bring
Yeah.
us wherever we need if we don't want to travel.
Yeah, it is going to take several hours through a blizzard to get back, and it's dangerous. It's dangerous to go over the mountain. You have to get over the mountains to get to any of the places in Tin Towns, and it's dangerous, meaning you can run into things like avalanches, all kinds of stuff, and that is pretty dangerous.
Chris, would I happen to know an Underdark route that would put us closer?
No, but as a ranger, you would actually be able to. If you're the one doing the scouting and everything, you probably would be the best choice because you can actually like show the group it's part of your inherent abilities, like how to get there and not take half time in a blizzard. So that would be useful. But so instead of having to move at half speed, you can move at full speed. You also get, by the way, you all in extreme conditions, you also get benefits on foraging and stuff. That'll come into play later too. So
I can
Yeah.
also just make good berries for eternity.
exactly, yeah. If you had to, that's exactly, yeah.
Well, I suppose we go on to search the place then.
yeah.
After all, we've been told to not come back, which means we should search it while we're still here.
Yeah.
Sorry,
All right.
couldn't. Maybe I'm taking it too literally. I asked where here was in regards to don't come back here, and he said the 9 hells.
Well, Didn't one of you say that the throne itself was there? I
Yep.
believe that some of this place is likely there if
Yeah.
the throne is there.
And the tower.
Of course, he could have also meant to open a planar gate or whatever it was to the Nine Hells to bring stuff over here.
Maybe.
Well,
Either way,
Yep.
we're here right now. We might as well do things right now.
Oh,
yes. So as you guys walk out, you've already been through this section, but as you get over through here, there's a hallway that moves all the way back into this section, and it looks like this was some kind of preparation room, but there is a ritual table on this side. There are a bunch of Charlatan figurines, kind of like the ones that you've already come across, but these are there's four Illithid figurines. And then there's also a figurine of what looks like a large castle, biggest piece of Charlatan you've seen that's been into figurines so far.
We almost got a full chess set. Should we take these?
Might be a good idea.
What are
Right,
these
so if you-
figurines for again?
Yeah, so
Scientific method?
they're just all over. They're literally just all over. You're not sure yet. They're just all over the place.
I am gonna be keeping an eye out through Butterball.
Okay, perfect. So as you get through here, there is a locked door, which eventually you'll be able to open no matter what, with your lock picking. And as you go through this section, it looks to be like there's like a bunch of like rubble from like a cave in. It looks like this place has actually been reinforced and they've had problems with things going. There are a bunch of books and a bookshelf over here as well. But unfortunately, it's actually just information on the Duergar royal lineage. If you want to take them on, or you can, it's going to take forever to read these. They're legal documents. So they're not easy reads, but you could take them if you wanted to.
No, I'm good.
Now there are a bunch of weapons. There's two battle axes, a war mace, a sword, and a spear. Every single one of these weapons is made out of Charlatan. You didn't see any of the Drugar wielding anything that was made out of Charlatan, but all these weapons are Charlatan. So the blades are all Charlatan.
I will cast a detect magic. See if any of this or around us is magic.
So they all light up because because they're Charlatan, they inherently have a magical signature on them. It does not tell you what school of magic because that's actually not in their stat block. However, which is weird, but whatever. But they are all +1 weapons. They're extra sharp Charlatan weapons.
Could
I will.
you
I will grab the
could you
shield.
list could you list what kind of weapons they were again?
Yeah, so there's a war mace, two battle axes, two spears, and two swords. There's no shield. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I thought you
No
said
shield.
shield. My mistake.
Yeah, no shield. Yep.
Uh,
However, they do have Charlatan, which means they will make you insane eventually. Or not insane necessarily, but they'll give you some form of madness eventually. This is not something that you can just take a curse off of, by the way. You can't just uncurse this kind of madness.
Yeah, I'd probably say leave them.
I'm gonna pick up a spear and start spinning it, just like testing it, playing with the weight.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah,
really
and by the way, there's no disadvantage at like putting your hands on them in brief times. And I mean, it looks like it's a really well made weapon. Once you take the spear off, by the way, another spear fits into its place immediately. You have no idea how or why.
Damn, that's cool.
Wow. I am gonna take a longsword.
Okay. Yep. You can take
Stay
you
in
can take a longsword. Yep.
do
The
you all
same thing
truly
happens. The same thing happens as you go through that.
do you all truly think that it is worth taking these items? We
Now,
have
now
seen
the
this happen to others.
the interesting thing is that again, you did not see any Duergar wielding these, and um, clearly this is like if it's infinite, and you're not sure that it is, this is like an armory of, I mean, untold magical power. So I mean, I would definitely think that the party would be suspicious at this point because it
Yeah.
doesn't hold any practical, like strategic thing. But
Yeah.
I want to know what this weapon does and how they're made. And
Well, make an Arcana check in general, Abel, to try to figure out what's going on here.
Guidance.
And then once you make an Arcana check, go ahead and make an investigation check. And then if anyone wants to do that as well, they can too.
I'll investigate.
Yep.
Is that investigation also guidance?
Yeah, I believe it could be.
Yeah, I'll do investigation.
Yep.
Yeah, just even if I don't say, it, just assume it's guidance.
That is a 22.
I only had a 14.
All right. So it looks like there are small Charlatan bands around each of the weapons. And the Charlatan bands have runes inside of them, and that must be how the weapons are basically getting replenished. Um, it, but other than that, the runes are also, by the way, Abel, when you start looking at them, and brother, I guess you would start to recognize this now that you know what to look for. They're an infernal. And there are 2 suits of armor that you guys notice now too. Same thing. These are made out of pure Charlatan. They're plate mail.
Well,
Bad news.
It looks like this is some kind of arming facility.
while those are tempting, I'm gonna leave those.
I'd say
I
we
do
leave
not-
all the weapons here.
Yeah, I do not believe this is worthwhile.
Good long look at this location, though.
Sorry,
I
what was
try
that?
to memorize it as best I can and study it.
It would take well. The other thing that you so actually, Ibram, you would know this too. So these are pretty well made weapons, and it would take an army of Dwarden just doing nothing but making these weapons. If they're the ones that really made them and made them, like you obviously have no idea how many of them there are, but it would have taken a long time and it would have taken a great amount of effort. So it's feasible to think that maybe whatever was going on here, maybe part of what they were doing, this might be a decently sized part of that, because it would have taken a long time if the Dwarden are the ones that are if the Drugar, sorry, are the ones that actually made these weapons, and let's say that there are thousands, that would have taken a long time, and it would have taken a lot of Drugar to do that.
Yeah, I'll relay that.
Okay.
I believe.
Abel, are you sure you want to take a
All right.
longsword? Because
So as we continue on, did you guys want to do anything else in here?
I'm all right.
No.
No.
It's just armor and
Oh,
weapons.
you know what?
Search
Sorry,
for
guys.
search for some other stuff if there's
Yeah, I couldn't hear you. Sorry. Say that again.
me.
Or
Oh.
anyone. I couldn't hear anyone for like 5 seconds. It was
I was
my
just saying
headphones.
it's just armor and weapons in there, right? So if that's all
Yeah,
there is.
it is just armor and weapons. Yep. There are two statues of Asmodeus. It looks like these were the ones that used to be Deep Terrora, but now show Asmodeus, by the way. But they are just weapons and armor.
Well,
Onwards we go then.
Okay. All right. So it looks like these are so as you go through and look, it looks like these are bottles of ale. Some kind of Duergar ale potentially, but there's several bottles in here. Or bottles. There's several barrels, I should say, in here as well. There is a cauldron that looks like it's filled with blood.
No, in this place, all this liquid is infused with Chardolin.
yeah, they really have a problem, don't they?
Oh, there's a bunch of boxes down there.
Abel, also at some point, detect magic might be a good idea to cast.
Did have it
Oh,
Yeah,
up.
did you?
I think it's
Okay.
still. I think it's still up. I think it's still
Sorry,
up.
I missed him casting it.
Yeah. So there are a bunch of boxes, and there's a whole other room. But unfortunately, if you want to get down there, you're gonna have to jump down there. It's let's see, how many squares is that actually? 1, 2. It's
Yeah,
around 6. Yeah, it's 60 feet. 60 feet below you.
Should one of you be willing to
However, if
carry
you
me?
jump over here, yeah, if you jump over here, you can get it to about 30 feet. So
Should one of you be willing to carry me on the way back? I could just grant two of us the ability to fly.
Carried a lot.
Why don't Why don't we wait to jump down there and continue forward, and maybe we'll loop around?
Okay. So as you guys start to walk forward here, you notice the same kind of thing. It looks like some of this is unstable. There is a
The boxes. Did any of
Wait,
them?
well, the
before we actually
boxes are down there, so you'd have to jump down to.
before we leave the box room, do we have rope? Because if we drop a rope over both
Yep.
sides and just have two people of mostly equal weight, go
Yep.
down on both sides, it'll balance itself.
Yep.
So we could just do that with some rope, and we won't have to worry about too much.
All right, Honor, you get on one side, I'll get on the other. I'll launch you.
Yeah, I'm not sure that works. I think Kino in his armor just lifts Henri up like a
Yeah, I feel like you have to be more like maybe Abel and Abram. I feel like that'd be vaguely
Oh.
equal.
I'm only 150 pounds.
Yeah, Abram's light.
Oh, in that case, like Henri and
But you
Abram.
got someone has pythons. You could python a rope and
Like
go through it.
Abram's body type is that kid who spent all 4 years of high school just running track.
Actually, Abel kind of is too, but he wears armor.
I just wear like light armor.
But yeah, let's just put on it then. I think it's best to do the stuff in the room while we're here, because if something happens, we're gonna want to. We don't want to have to turn back if something happens later on.
Abel would want to keep moving with the detect magic running.
I will let you guys say this too, because I don't want you to get too concerned with all of this and then micromanage it. I'll cheat this a little bit. You will be able to come back. Maybe not forever. Like if you waited like 6 months or so, maybe not. But you you will have an opportunity to come back. It's not like you're going to leave and a firewall comes up and you can't get back in. But as a heads up.
All right, that does help.
Yeah.
Still, while we're here, we might as well just clear out what we can.
Yes.
Yep.
Especially with our reputation for being able to go back to places.
I suppose we.
So what do you guys want to do?
I think we should just baton down, check it out
Yeah,
real
I agree.
quick.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
So
that's great.
if you guys go through and start looking in these chests, all of them are Charlatan weapons. Every single chest that you open, some of them have to be pried open because they're pretty intricate locks, but they're all various Charlatan weapons. If you do want to take them, I'll describe them, but they're all kinds. As a matter of fact, there's even some crude Charlatan clubs in there as well.
Is there Charlatan tipped arrows?
There's no arrows.
Fuck.
Yeah,
No,
no arrows. Yeah.
we have that pickaxe for Chardolin. Maybe we just destroy some of these weapons in their boxes, just in case.
That's
Yeah.
a good idea. Now,
Yeah, so
I've been discreetly checking Valo's map around here. Has anything pinged up on the
Not yet.
locations yet?
Not yet, but you would have to get into like 2 or 3 rooms closer to it, but not yet. It did tell you that there were 4 things in here, if you remember. So there
So-
are 4 things in this vicinity, and you found 1. So yeah.
So do you want to just like bust some of the weapons real quick?
Now,
before
if
we-
you go through, I'll give you this. If you do go through and start looking through things, you are going to find Charlatan bows. There are Charlatan bows, just not arrows.
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna grab one of those.
Okay, that's fine. You can
And
grab one.
I'm gonna put the spear. I'm just gonna chuck the spear.
Okay, all right. All right.
I mean, you realize that's a really bad idea, right?
Yeah, this stuff is like
We've all
beyond
warned you.
cursed.
It's super cursed.
Like, we can't even remove this curse. You have to go to rehab for this.
And rehab ain't fixing this.
Yeah, this
The damage is permanent.
Science.
You do not pass go. You do not collect $200. You just get cursed.
That's a good point. All right, I'll just I'll ditch it then.
So basically, what you guys have started to concern through everything Abel's done and several of you, what ends up happening is that a random form of madness will cart through it. It first takes its like hand in paranoia. You start to become extra paranoid, and then after you have it for a certain amount of time, you get a permanent thing that you actually roll on. That comes into. That's the disadvantage for you for coming into contact with this kind of Charlatan. You are going to, by the way, have to do a lot more investigation to find out why, how, all that stuff. You do know that Chardolin did come from inherently evil magic item, but there's certainly a possibility there's way more going on with this Chardolin, which is why it might be the way that it is. So. Anyway, so that's fine. So Ibram goes to take it because it is a very nice bow. It looks awesome. Ibram, you knew that you could probably do more damage with this bow. Even the string has some pieces of Chardolin infused in it. Like it really, like it looks amazing, and you know that it would have been good, but you begrudgingly give it back. And all right, so as you guys are walking through, you do notice that in this cave-in there is actually these. So these coffins are all actually here. And there's another statue of Asmodeus.
Did we smash some of the weapons before we left that area?
The weapons are super hard to smash. It's actually
No,
very difficult to destroy
the
them.
Chardolin pickaxe specifically. We would
Oh,
pick one of those
gotcha.
up for
You could,
specifically
yeah,
my
you absolutely could. So if you want to take the Chardolin and go through it, but here's the thing: it takes you roughly 45 minutes of hammering at that thing to make those weapons completely unusable.
Oh,
If
even
you
with
want,
the
and
pickaxe. Okay.
even with the pickaxe, and that's just one. However, if you wanted to scar them up and make them look less like good, maybe not make them like not, they'd still be useful weapons, but if you just want to like smear, like basically just like nick them up, you can do that in like 15 minutes or so on the ones that you have. But to really get to them, they are so hard. Even with the pickaxe, it's super hard. So
That's probably not worth the time.
yeah,
Project.
yeah. Sorry guys. Yeah. So what were you saying?
I was just saying that would be a longer term project to break those.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
get rid of the weapons. Yeah.
Not worth our time right now.
I'm alright leaving these.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good.
On-
Do we want to start cracking coffins?
Sure.
Short,
Maybe one.
size boxes, or
All right. So as you get to the coffin, as you get closer to these coffins, every single one of them has a silvery gray mist surrounding them that you've never seen before.
Coming from inside or just
Yeah, like
enveloping them?
almost seeping, almost as if they had dry ice in them. It's that kind of like,
Do I get any sort of religious ping off of it?
you can do a religion check on them, sure.
And I'll cast Divine Sense.
Does the mist look like
All
an
of them have
aerosol?
undead. Yeah, so all of them have undead creatures in them. If you hit divine sense, every single one of them have undead creatures inside.
Hey, I'll let.
Does anybody have
Sorry?
oil on them?
Yes.
Perhaps we just douse these in oil and burn whatever might be inside.
23 total for the religion check.
All right. The only thing that you do remember these kind of fable-y stories of a evil, awful mist that would literally sweep you up and take you away to this awful place that you don't remember the name of. Not and out of game. This is not specifically Barovia, but something awful in that direction potentially. Um, and you know it's something that you don't want to mess with.
I will cautiously relay that to the rest of the group.
It doesn't necessarily mean that, brother, you don't know, and it doesn't, and you also know enough that those stories usually involve you getting into a forest or something with the mist where it beckons you and just takes you away, never to be seen again, going into a living hell essentially. But whatever's going on certainly is magic or some other insane thing, and the description of the mist and whatever's going on in this specific instance is very similar.
Chris, do these
Yeah.
coffins radiate magic or the mist?
No, but the mist is magic. The mist is
magic.
absolutely glowing.
Well,
This is a bad mist. Grin, you should go touch it.
Yeah, we have a terrible
Okay.
track record with mist.
Oh,
Yeah.
Perhaps we should just leave it be then and hope that it never comes up to be a problem.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So as you guys start walking forward, there's more coffins here. You go through this section here. You get to around here and you realize that there is what looks like a stairway downstairs. At this point, the map does ping for you, by the way, brother. And there is a magic item somewhere close in this vicinity. You're not exactly sure where, but
And I will tell the relevant people in the group that.
okay.
Talking about coffins, any
Yeah.
writing, languages, runes on them?
Nothing. There's nothing. These are actually very, very undescript, kind of not even put together well, wooden coffins with a bunch of like cracks and nicks in them. As a matter of fact, you can, if you're you know it'd be dangerous to do an investigation check while this mist is coming out, but you could try to like pry back or whatever just to see what's inside of it. But we already have Kino saying that they were undead, so.
I think we just move on and hope that it doesn't come back to bite us.
Yeah.
All right.
So everyone
Okay.
should pan out, look for this item.
Right. So you get to this room here. There's a bunch of barrels over here. You walk through here, and as you get to this point, brother, the map starts to give you a location. The magic item is buried like over in this direction somewhere over here outside of this room.
All right, I will tell Kino, Henri, and Abel that.
Yeah, by the way, this was just another way to get down to the same room that you guys were in previously, but yeah.
I'll tell the rest of the group that there's another item here.
Yep.
And the map doesn't like tell us anything about the item, right? It just tells us there is an item in the area.
It not until you're like directly over it, like
Okay.
the like when you were in the forge and it told you what it was. Once you get to the room, it will. Yeah.
Okay, so then
Yeah.
I will just until we get to the room where it actually gives us more information, I will just be keeping kind of a better eye out.
Yep.
Yeah, and we'll proceed to try to find the item.
All right.
And you're butterballing, right?
Yep.
Gross.
Yeah, she is. Yeah.
Don't why is it?
That's
All right.
canon
So
now, remember that.
So as you get into this room here with whatever this giant thing is, and it looks like it's some kind of maybe coffin or something. You're not exactly sure. It does look like it's made out of some kind of soft metallic thing. Abel, you notice this is maybe lead. Maybe this is a coffin made out of lead. The magic item is inside of it. The magic item is called the Infinite Knowledge of the Crystal Tower. It is some kind of magic item that has to do with retaining things, memories, knowledge, lore, whatever. There is like a brief description that explains that, but other than that, that's all it says.
Before we open that, wasn't Charlatan all from a crystal tower of sorts?
It was a crystal tower called Krishinabon.
We should also probably prepare our weapons just in case something else is in there as well. So if we should...
I think there's something is because there's a map, right? I'm not catching
No, this is coming
Yeah,
off
yeah,
of our
it's
map.
yeah. You can't actually see anything past the lead. It doesn't show you anything. Yeah, you don't see anything lighting up.
I feel like
This is only because you have the map.
I feel like we should have the melee people up close to it and the ranged people a few feet away, just in case.
I mean, I was gonna try to open it.
Why don't we do this carefully?
That's what I'm saying. Like, we want to have ourselves basically in a combat formation while we open it, just so we're not surprised by anything.
Yeah, I'm readying an action.
Yeah, I mean, I can open it in case anything jumps out. It'll hit me first.
I
Sounds
have
good.
my defender for that.
Okay. Now, how would you like to open it? Like, you could just open up the lid. It's heavy. Grin, you're gonna have to do this with help. But is there anything else that you guys want to do, or just you want to straight open the lid and see what happens?
I'm investigating it first and rolling
Okay.
terribly.
Yep.
10.
Sure. Yep.
Got
You got a 10?
everything.
I mean, it doesn't. So what did you get, Abel?
10.
Roll a d4
Okay.
too.
Yep.
I mean, if you want, I can take a look at it too. I'm pretty good at investigating.
Yeah, you can look at it as well if you'd like.
I got a 26.
13 total. There you go.
Okay. All right. So you notice that it does have tiny little what look like needles that are so basically well made inside of the actual like whatever it is, lead coffin or whatever, that it looks like a smooth surface, but you were able to somehow detect that it's actually filled with thousands of these needles, so that when you place your hands over the lid of this coffin or whatever to get it out, it looks like it goes to like jab you. So it
So
looks like it's trapped. It looks like it's trapped.
you'd want like gauntlets or something then.
Something, yeah.
Well, it appears that there are many spikes on its surface, so you'd want to make sure you cover your hands with
Yeah,
something.
they haven't taken like there's some kind of mechanism here, because it looks like the spikes are not they're retracted inside of it, so it's just a smooth coffin. Like if you were to touch it right now, it would not prick you, but it does look like it's set up so when you lift it, it goes to jab you.
Is there a plank perhaps around here? We could try
We do
using
have a
that to
crowbar in the
lever.
back.
We
We
have my defender try to open it first, and maybe activate the spikes. Then if
Yep.
that's not strong enough, then maybe once they're activated, it'll be easier to help it lift off.
that sounds good to me. And then we can use the crowbar if we really need to.
Okay. So you want to try the defender first and see what happens? Okay. All right, so Abel, you go ahead and command your defender to go through and open up the coffin, sarcophagus, whatever it is. The defender goes to do it. It's what's the strength of it? The defender alone, by the way.
It's 14.
Okay. Yeah, it's not exactly strong enough to get this lid off of the thing, but it is strong enough just to move it slightly, which does trigger the trap. And what ends up happening is a bright light goes through your defender. And it takes a considerable amount of uh so it does enough damage that it actually like blows its hands off, and your defender, how many hit points does your defender have?
47.
27. Yeah, so it completely
40,
destroys it.
47.
47, it still completely destroys it, unfortunately. I don't know if you
Oh
saw my
boy.
roll. I don't know if you saw my roll, but that'll give you an indication of what's going on here. So yeah, it destroys your defender. It just collapses and like kind of like explodes and things. So
All
But
right,
the
now let me
but
try.
you're sure the item is in here though.
So crowbars?
Crowbars. Let's
Yeah.
not touch that.
Also, do these spikes look similar to the crow skull or the bird skull spikes we saw in the tomb?
No, that they're not actually that well made. That they're not like almost invisible, whatever. But they're definitely whoever made this made it very deceptive. It's very sneaky, and whatever that light was looks like it could possibly be radiance, but you're not exactly sure. It was a blinding flash of quick light that just took out your defender and like basically spread it apart. Abel, go ahead and do an investigation check on the remnants of your defender to see if you can figure out what this effect is.
Okay. I also am able to fix it, so I will
Okay.
begin mending it after I investigate it.
Yeah. Okay.
Man, that
What
was
are we
a lot.
investigating?
Damage to my defender. 22.
That defender stuck around for like 30 minutes.
Gonna need another Timmy.
Well, actually, I can fix them now.
It's a good die
Just
young.
start-
It's honestly handy to have that map, because otherwise, I mean, at some point you might just give up on this. To be honest, because like anything could be in there. It doesn't have to be a magic item or whatever. So the map is
I had a
handy in that respect.
22 investigation.
Hmm?
I had a 22 investigation.
All right, and you're trying to like figure out how to like disarm it, right?
Oh no! What happened to my?
Oh, I'm sorry, the defender. Yeah, of course. Yeah, so it does look like it's radiant damage, but it also looks like it's a combination of effects. It's definitely radiant that it affected it, but also electrical energy pierced through your defender. So, and it looks like it was a substantial amount of damage. I don't know if you guys saw, but I only rolled 4d10, and it still took out the defender that had 40 something hit points. So if you look at that and go through it, it's something's going on. It's a substantial amount of damage that went through it. It's radiant, it's electrical.
It's Zeus lightning.
Obviously, like this is some kind of complex thing that's set up to make sure that you don't open this up. So
Is it like a hinged lid or like a lid that's
it's
just sitting
no,
on top?
it's just really really heavy, and it seems like as soon as you're able to like shimmy it up to the point where it finds any kind of like crack outside of the bottom part of the coffin, that's when at least you've seen it go off. You don't know if that's it, but that's certainly what it looked like happened when you were watching the guy.
What I mean
Finish.
is, does it have to be lifted or can it be slid off?
Oh, it could theoretically be slid off. It could be slid off too. You could try to push it off theoretically.
What I'm thinking, instead of you pushing it, you take like just a plank or piece of wood, since there's probably one of those just
Yeah,
lying around, and you get some distance from it and wedge it between the wall and the lid and just use it like a lever.
yeah. I was thinking of using something to push it off instead of trying to lift it off.
If it's electrical, we want to make sure, but it's
Yeah.
electrical, so the crowbar's gonna be a bad time.
I
we
don't
can
know
find a
nothing about
trip
no
on it
electricity.
for an activation. I can try to disarm it, but I didn't find anything.
Well, there is some wood laying on the ground right next to it.
That's why I'm saying wood, is we literally just have some laying right there.
Grin's gonna go pick up a piece of wood.
Yep. Yep. What do you want to do, Grin?
Um, is is this a good idea? Should I try this?
Yeah, you got more than 47 hit points.
That's Tom talking. Where's Grin?
Sorry, you're right. You're right. Grin's gonna try and push the lid off with a piece of wood, like not touch the lid directly.
Mhm.
I'm gonna pick up a piece of wood with Mage Hand too, just in case he cracks it. I'm going to wedge the piece of wood so it doesn't slam shut if anything happens or he loses his grip.
All right.
Like
So
trying to slide it off.
yeah,
Yeah.
you want to take like a wood plank or whatever, and you want to try with all your might to take the wood plank, like basically push off the top of the cauldron with the wood plank. Correct.
Right. Yes.
All right. All right. So you do that, and what ends up happening is it interacts with the wood itself. It shoots through it. The wood explodes in a bunch of like splinters or whatever. Make a dexterity saving there to make sure you don't like fall into the coffin as you do this, because you were using your entire strength. So just do a dex save and let's see what happens.
Danger sense.
Yep, you get danger sense on this. You guys notice this too. It blows up in your. First of all, the splinters everywhere and blows up in your face. You're going to take damage for that anyway. But let's just make sure you didn't touch the coffin, because if you do, it's going to be a problem.
16.
All right, so Grin catches himself just in time so that he doesn't actually like face first right into this coffin. You take 4 points of damage. You have splinters in your face and stuff that you're gonna have to get out now. But it looks like whatever it does is interacts with whatever's touching it, and then it just blows it apart. It's the same thing. You're not exactly sure if this was radiant. If you go to look at it, you can just use your investigation that you used previously. It looks like what ends up happening is the radiant energy goes through and courses through it to get it soft or whatever, and then force just rips this stuff apart. So
I hate this idea. You still have that spear of Chardolin on you, right?
He tossed it.
Okay. Because perhaps a Chardolin item might be able to withstand this.
I was gonna say it's definitely it's definitely close enough that you guys can just double back and get some Chardolin pieces. You also know that if you do that, you need to hold them for a substantial amount of time. So you have an hour of most of these pieces to play with before anything starts to happen.
So do you want to try
I
using a Chardolin item to try to pry it?
left it back there. I can go back and get it.
Alright, that'll only take a second.
You always try the magical pickaxes too and use them as rocking levers.
Oh, that's true. We do all have Chardolin pickaxes.
They're not Chardolin, I'm pretty sure.
But they're
They're
magic.
4 Chardolin. My concern there is just that
Chardolin heavy pick.
Angela's magic.
Chris, in the meantime, I am mending my fender back together. We'll take
Okay.
me 10
Yeah,
So-
that's fine. That's
We
fine.
get
Yep.
we grab spear or anything else. I'm thinking like 2 spears, use them as wedges, personally.
All right. So you want to try to get this off with the spears and explain exactly what you'd like to do, and then we'll go from there.
So I probably won't do this since my strength is nothing, but I mean spearheads are triangular, right? We just put them like where the seam of the lid in the coffin is, and then we just have somebody push it in as a wedge.
Yep. Okay. Who are the 2 people that want to do that?
I'm gonna move outside of the room just in case.
You
I'm
know,
just gonna move past.
I'm gonna take cover behind a wall. I'm
Okay.
suggesting this plan, but I am very weak.
I'll of
I
course
actually love the
be.
visual of that. I love Elder. She's telling you guys, "Oh, this is gonna be great" or whatever, and then she lets Grin and whoever does this, and she literally just hides away. That's it's a good visual.
I will offer up a defender again.
Okay, so Grin and the Defender, is that what it's going to be?
Sure.
Guess so.
Okay.
You're the Hurt Locker.
All right. Okay. Everyone else is going to leave the room.
Stay
I'm
within
gonna
20
double back
feet.
to the hallway.
I'm taking like
All right.
cover behind a wall.
Okay.
I'm like 2 feet away.
Does anybody have
Alright.
safety goggles I could wear?
Oh, I only wish.
Just turn your head.
Safety squints down. Come on.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So you coordinate with the Defender. You go through this. It does kind of work in the sense that this is not able to destroy the Chardolin spear. That said, Grin, you feel an awful amount of electricity course through you. It's unnatural, probably from the radiance, whatever. You only take, by the way, do you have something that like eats up or halves this stuff?
Nope, not anymore.
Okay, right. So you take 21 points of electrical damage, which is not bad, and then you go ahead and make a Wisdom saving throw.
Is it like a cartoon? Did we briefly see his skeleton?
Please tell me Kino is still
And
within range.
it's some kind of electrical damage too, because
Yeah, I'm
this is
just
not
back behind
straight
that
up
corner.
electricity. What you guys see as you're looking through it is like it gets washed in light, and then like almost like plasma goes through his whole body. It's it's only that damage. But go ahead and make your Wisdom saving throw on it. The Defender, by the way, only takes 21 points of damage too. I'm
Don't
just rolling it.
forget, Kino was nearby, so you get to add that.
That'll be a 13 total.
Okay. So Grin also takes. So this is what you guys see. You see some kind of
Oh,
like crazy holy fire go through him, and you take an additional 39 points of damage, but you are able to get. So the Defender gets destroyed. Grin, you power through this. Um, as you get it enough open that you can get your arm in there maybe safely. Whoever does this is going to have to make a dex save. And what you see on the inside of this is this. You can go to the Twitch stream in a second.
And I'm sorry, how much damage did I take?
39 after that 21. So you took
Gotcha.
a total,
60.
yeah.
Turns out that that coffin was wired by Macaulay Culkin. Just kept electrocuting
Yeah.
us every time.
Yeah.
Apparently.
And then a
Um,
paint can swings down.
Yeah, it's just an instant kill. Sorry.
And then there's nails on the ground that you step on with glue.
I watched a YouTube video where a doctor broke down like the realistic injuries those guys would have faced.
Oh, they'd probably be dead by the end of that.
It's like,
like
yeah,
most
Joe Pesci
action-
died like 26 times.
What's the action movies? I sit
Let's
there and watch
see.
them now, and it's like, oh, that's 3 weeks of therapy. That's
All right.
6
So if
weeks
you, so if you go now to the stream, it'll catch up in a second. This is inside that box. In the lead thing or whatever.
Oh, anticipation.
I'm still not
Yeah.
seeing nothing.
Hold on.
You
Yeah,
should
we're
be able
getting
to
some
see.
lag.
Oh, okay. This is of course on the Twitch stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're still not getting anything.
Okay, hold
Yeah.
on. Let me see why. Let's see why.
Might be behind it.
No, actually, it is strangely not. Actually, hold on. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay,
I see
I
you
know why.
shiver with
Oh,
Antissa.
And it's a
There we go.
patient.
There we go. You
Oh,
guys will be able to see it in a second. It will
Patient.
definitely show up in a second.
ooh.
That's
Huh.
inside the box.
Oh, that looks so cool.
Whoa.
How big is this relative to us?
So it's definitely it's only 2 feet tall. It sucks because it's big in the sense that you kind of like it's kind of like a sucky thing to carry around, but it is a magic item. It's actually 18 inches. Um, at the same time, it is just big enough that whoever gets this thing out is going to have to be very like it's going to be a bit of a circus act unless you want to try to jam through more of the space
Uh,
because you only got it just open enough where you could see that and maybe take it out.
You guys want
uh,
me to give it a shot?
perhaps
This
does
is going to
somebody
be
else?
this is going to be sleight of hand, and then depending on what you roll in the sleight of hand, you might actually have to make a deck save.
Before we try a person, does anybody else know Mage Hand? Perhaps we just try lifting out with magic instead. Why don't
Yeah.
we try
You
using
want to
Mage
try
Hand?
that, Abel?
If one
I
hand
also
isn't
have mage hand.
if one hand isn't strong enough, we can try 2 Mage Hands, and if that's not strong enough, we can try 3.
I mean, it looks
Yep.
big enough where we could use both hands, so I think we should try that.
Okay.
Yep. So when you guys go ahead and use mage hand, one mage hand, this would have been too heavy to go through it anyway, but that's not the problem. The problem is as soon as mage hand touches it, it actually glows and your mage hand disappears as if it's getting sucked inside of this thing. You're able to cast it again. It didn't take your spell away, but it's not effective at holding it. It's actually like taking your mage hand and putting it inside of it.
Yeah, I gotta admit,
Huh.
I kind of saw that one coming.
Well, it
My
was
hand
fun.
went inside.
Yep.
As did mine.
It's
Well,
got 2 hands in it now.
let's hope
Well,
the same.
good luck.
It can
Abraham.
form a round of applause.
Yeah. So that's not effective. But Ibram, you might be good enough to do this. We'll have to see.
Plus,
You think to yourself this is fucking dangerous though. After you saw what happened, you know this is going to be dangerous. But
to the sides.
Am I still holding the thing open?
no. You had to let go. You did so much damage that. No. You've actually scooted it enough where it's like just open enough that you can see it. So you
I
could do
mean,
it again. You could do it again and maybe get this to where it's way safer. But then you'd have to risk going through everything you went through.
I could just try to grab it.
I mean,
If you do, let me do my thing on you first.
if you want to try to do that sleight of hand check, go ahead.
I think she'll work.
I'm
I
not
think
good at sleight of hand. If someone is better at sleight of hand, I'm not gonna fight you on it. I just
Yeah, Grin, you've taken quite the licking. Why don't you sit back for this one and
gross.
let someone else. You're gonna say gross to that after the last 5 minutes.
Can give it a try, I guess.
Does anyone have proficiency with sleight of hand?
I have a +6. I've said.
Well, then you do it.
Are
Yeah,
you guys
let him do this.
Well,
Try and guidance.
I guess maybe you guys aren't hearing me, or I'm maybe speaking too quiet.
Oh, I heard you, but go for it.
You gotta just say, "I do the thing."
Yeah.
Do it.
Try not to cut people off. I don't like talking over. Sorry.
No, you're good. I'm all about I'm all about Ibram trying this.
Can I get like?
Yeah, you got guidance.
Okay. Could I, if I time it with Grin opening the thing, Chris, would that give me advantage?
No, I think
With
the
the-
coffin's
as a help-
open.
as a
I
help
think
act? Okay. All right.
It's
then
open already.
I'll go.
I
For
don't
Explain
think
to you the shape and the best geometrical way to get it out.
it. Okay.
I don't think Grin can take any more damage.
Chris, can someone possibly give me the help action, or is that an impossibility in this situation?
So in this case, the only thing that's applicable is like since Abel's incredibly smart, he can at least tell you how to It's not going to count as advantage, but you can lower the DC by 1, Abel. So if you do that, Abel takes 10 minutes and tells you the exact angle you would need to go through and do this, and he's going to like try to walk you through it. I'll allow
Explaining
I'll
my
allow that.
plan.
I just won't. It won't give you advantage, but it's going
Okay.
to lower the DC.
If you blow it, I'll give you +5.
Okay. All right. That helps.
Gross. But only if you blow it.
Man, that portent would come in handy right now.
However, this is very hard. Ibram, you know this going into it. This is just a kind of very hard thing. This is like you have to contort your body and have like perfect muscle control to get this out. So you know it's hard. It's I'd say in the very hard category. But go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Wait. I'm sorry.
13.
Yeah.
Can wait before we
Okay.
is part something you have to do before the roll happens or before
I was
the
going to
roll
say I
happens?
put in the roll, but I would have had to say it before he made the roll.
I did not know. Okay. All right.
You wouldn't know anyway. Ibram doesn't even know that you do that. So
Yeah. So all right. Well, good.
but anyway,
wonderful.
so 13. So you do the 13.
I rolled a 3.
And yeah, that's fine. And what did you say, Abel? You can give him something. Right, a +5. So 18
God.
is not enough. So go ahead and make your dexterity saving throw. You're not
Okay.
going to be able to get this out, but let's do your dexterity
Also
saving throw
had
to make sure
guidance
you don't
as
kill
well.
yourself.
A point.
Yeah, he had guidance too.
Guidance on. You need
1d4.
resistance for skill. You need resistance for skill.
I was saying for your sleight of hand check, you could.
Yeah, I did. I
Reminding
added
you.
it. Yeah, I did it. It was that's
Maybe
what made it not. It turned a 9 into a 13.
maybe
Okay.
we use the portent
rolled
for
3.
maybe we use the portent for our next attempt to get it out.
Well,
I
that or
rolled a
you use
3 again. Oh my god, dude, that's a 6. That's a 6, Chris.
Do you have
Okay.
advantage on that or something as a rogue?
No, I don't.
You don't
Okay.
have like evasion, do you?
All right, so this is what you guys end up seeing. So you see that Ibram wasn't able to get it out, but he at least was trying to like get his body to go through it, but it wasn't enough. This is just a bad situation. So what ends up happening is Ibram, you take first you take the electrical damage, unfortunately. This is not only from the lid, but it looks like from the coffin itself, unfortunately. So you take the electrical damage,
I cannot believe
and
I
then
rolled
make
2
your
3s
wisdom.
in a row.
Okay, so you get 18 points of damage, but then make your wisdom saving throw, because that's what really gets you. It's the wisdom saving throw. So the 18 points of damage you hit, but what's the wisdom saving throw?
15.
All right, so
Wait, don't I get a bonus to saves when I'm around Kino?
It's a +2, but I don't.
how does it work, you know?
It's if I'm within 10 feet of him. He gets
Okay,
a +2
alright.
to all saves.
Okay, so no, that would be fine then.
That
Assuming
makes
you are
it-
within 10 feet of him.
Oh, sorry. I thought this was the dex check. I didn't see the wisdom save until right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what is it? So what did you get? 17?
Yeah.
Well, that's lucky. Okay. So you don't have to take the next effect, but you did take the electrical damage. This could kill you. You know that. I mean, you saw what happened with Gren. So
Well, how much damage was it? I didn't. I think it was
18, 18
that's
points of
not
electrical damage.
too bad.
Yeah. No, but the next one's worse. So if you fail that wisdom saving throw, so here's your options. So this is obviously a very powerful magical item. So we're kind of at a quandary here. At the same time, Grin, you could try it again, but you also know that without healing, it would
back.
kill you. So
Yeah, I'll try again. It actually,
Alright.
I don't think it will kill me.
Oh, really?
I still have my relentless endurance.
You
So
want me
in
to
order to
top you off a little bit?
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, that's right.
in order to kill me, it would have to do 106 points of damage.
Yeah. So you're probably
Also,
okay.
just a quick question.
Yep.
Is force damage like literally applying force, or is it just like magical term for magic damage?
It's a type of magical damage. Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Before we do this,
Yep.
do I feel like I've seen this thing fire off 3 times now. Do I feel like I could disarm that?
From the inside, yes. So that's what I was about to tell you before we go. So Abel, now that it's open from the inside, you can try. If you fail disarming it, you will take the damage. But absolutely, it's hard. This is a very
disarm.
no, no. You're gonna have to get in there, unfortunately, because you have to apply pressure. So here's what you found out. So there are these sealing runes on the top of the actual coffin. You can only see them now because the coffin's open. What you're going to have to do is you're going to have to with your tools, you're going to have to expertly, and you're going to have to apply a decent amount of pressure doing this, like basically disconnect those rooms with your tools, and you're going to have to do it one after another after another and after another, and any time that you fail, the trap goes off and you have to take it. But yes, this can be disarmed now that you can see them.
I think I can just grab it again.
That would be.
So, sorry, you think it's pretty difficult because you have to basically do it in succession. But I mean, you think you could probably do it, but at the same time, it's difficult.
Been rolling like crap though. Either do
Yeah.
or I'm good. Um,
I mean, you could talk to Grin and ask him how bad it hurt, I guess, and figure out if it would kill you. But
I
yeah,
know it's gonna hurt. That's
yeah.
not a question. I I'm just seeing how
Clearly,
good it.
this was set up so that you guys did not take this item. So whoever put this in here definitely wanted it to stay in there and not have someone steal it.
Yeah. I will attempt to disarm it.
Okay. Henri,
I
as they're going through and as they're thinking about this, you get a vision of a bunch of um a bunch of like strange like first of all, what languages do you speak, Henri? Just so I make sure that I get this correct.
Celestial, common, primordial, and undercommon.
Okay, so strangely in your head, you can actually understand all that's going on, and it's basically in Elven, and it's in an ancient Elandrin language, no less. And you start to see like these vast civilizations like fall. It's only a brief thing, but you know this is some kind of like magic calling out to you. It seems to be from the device itself. Okay, what did you want to do, Abel?
Am I able to use my intelligence on my lock picking?
Yeah. And this one you can. You basically are playing whack-a-mole with a bunch of runes that you have to do one after another expertly, and you can absolutely use your intelligence on this.
All right. Is there? Uh, 16.
All right. Um, 16 is not enough to disarm it. It does go off. Make a dexterity saving throw.
Wait, was that guidance?
Yeah, it's always guidance. So just add a d4.
There'd be a 4. 19 total.
Yeah, that's not enough, unfortunately. So you same thing. So just make a dexterity saving throw. It's gonna hurt you, but let's see how bad.
Oh, wait, 1 second.
Yeah. You are very close. You're really close to this. So if there's anything else you have, definitely add it on.
What about that +5 thingy?
Yeah, all-purpose tool +1.
Flash of inspiration.
Okay. So you get to add a 1 to that.
A 20 because of that. The
20 is enough. 20 is enough to get this. So um so you notice you just get it in the nick of time. It is able to disarm it. So now it's just a big, very heavy metal lead piece of whatever. But yeah, you guys can like take this off now too. And here, let's get back to the item. All right. So, Abel, you get it off, and this is what you see. The item itself looks like it's made out of the same material as the coffin. It looks almost like it's lead or pewter or something. However, it's kind of got like this prismatic, like glass quality to it. It looks like it's empty on the inside, but
Was this sort of like a stained glass container?
uh, no.
Structural
Well, I
pers-
mean, maybe it does look like it's prismatic in the sense that it does reflect light like that, but it's all one color. It's not the color of stained glass.
Okay.
So
See,
yeah.
I was almost picturing leading holding together a box.
No, it is. Sorry, it is like stained glass in that respect. So yes. So you know how stained glass has basically a lead pewter like thing, and it is absolutely like that. Like if you can you see my
I can.
stream? Okay, so you can tell that this is a soft metal because you can see how it's been like basically like basically melted and mended right on the thing. So it looks exactly like it's the same metal from the coffin. But yeah,
Does
this. Go ahead.
does this look at all like the item that I have?
It does look very, very similar, if not
Huh.
exactly identical to the item that you have.
Do
That is correct.
Do you mind if I see that once we have it out? It
Let's move it
seems
away from
familiar.
the coffin.
Yep.
Actually, it's disabled now. Elda's just gonna reach in and grab it, I guess, so she can inspect it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I
So so Elda, where is the item that you have
uh
that I
I
showed
was
you?
imagining that I'd probably be wearing it as a necklace sort of thing underneath
Oh,
the scarf.
so the one that you have is smaller, but it's too big as a necklace,
All
unfortunately.
right, I'd have
So
that.
the one
I'd
that you have is
have that.
8 inches. Yeah, it's 8 inches and just too big and bulky as a
Yeah,
necklace. You have it
I'd
in
have
your
that.
your.
Yeah,
All right.
I'd probably take that out to compare.
All right. So Elda, as you go down to touch it, it actually like basically becomes like ethereal or ghost like. You're not able to pick this up.
Huh, that's strange. Can anyone else pick that up? Yes, I
I will try to
seem
pick
to
it up.
be unlikely.
Yeah.
Did we? Did
Henri,
we
you
see
can
that?
pick it up if you want to. So Henri's able to pick it up. By the way, Elda, you can go ahead and do an Arcana check because it's a magical
Yeah,
effect.
Did we just see that happen?
that's a
Yeah, you
14.
did. Yeah, the only thing that you can guess is it has something to do with your item.
Huh, well, that was
Um,
peculiar.
so Henri, if you pick it up, uh, actually, Henri, this is convenient. Henri, if you pick it up, do you remember the video that I sent you? That
Yes.
was, I said that it would have to come and play at some point.
Mhm.
You know all of that information now. It would have been several hours worth of it, but that's what's stored inside of it. So
Ah, lovely.
all of that you know instantly now. You
Lovely.
also speak Elven.
Woo!
You know, that's an interesting item.
Now, here's the thing. You know you know who made your item, and you suspect that this item is also made by the same person.
I would not take mine out, by the way, if I wasn't able to
Right.
grab it.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to say anything, but that's private information. You're pretty sure that this was made by the same thing.
So,
Yep.
um,
But
apparently, I
this one's much larger. Yeah.
congratulations on being able to hold that.
Yeah, what just happened? Like, does it?
You know, I wish I could tell you actually, but I guess I have ghost hands.
What
Or if you
is?
can closely.
I mean, what is that? I just sort of try and poke it. Does my hand phase through?
No, you're able to touch it.
I
Perhaps it's
can
because
touch
I was dead like 2 days ago. Perhaps my body is still recovering.
That's
So
strange.
if we want to go through and identify it, we can. Um, do you want to take the 10 minutes and do that, or
Yeah.
do we want to move on?
I'll take the 10
We could do
minutes.
that.
Grin's
Alright.
gonna sit down for the 10 minutes.
Technically, it's
And
1
I'll
minute.
use my divine action to give Grin 35 points of healing.
Thanks, brother.
Sorry, I failed, guys.
All
Thank
right.
you for trying.
Yes.
Yeah, you did a good job.
I did
Actually,
an awful
sorry, you
job.
get 40, Grin.
I pap you on the head.
Thanks, brother.
I'll get you the D&D Beyond thing, but it's a custom item. I don't know why it's not coming up now. I made this a while ago, but I'll
At
figure it
some
out.
point while you're doing that, can you also do the one for the necklace?
Oh yes, yes. Yeah, I think I actually. Well, I'll go through and make sure that I have that. But yes, I will. You're talking about the in which, just so I'm sure, is it's the mage armor one or is it the other
The
necklace?
Kosis.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yep. So um so this is another sentient magic item. Um, are you saying this out loud, Abel? You normally do. So
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Everything
okay.
I'm finding out about it.
All right. So this is another alive sentient magic item. However, it will allow you to absorb any piece of knowledge up to 80,000 words. So anything with 80,000 words, which is a staggering amount, that's an entire volume of encyclopedia essentially. Yeah, so anything up to 80,000 words, it will basically allow you to know that knowledge instantly once per day. You don't have to go through and read like these things anymore. It's taking months to go through it. On top of that, uh, as you feed it more knowledge, um, you can basically get affinity towards it. And if you get enough affinity towards this, whatever's already been stored throughout the years of having this thing can be recalled as well, depending on if the item allows you to, wants you to, whatever. Um, so Elda, instinctively now you know that this is even though it looks exactly the same and much larger, it's very different from yours, but it has the same kind of function when it comes to knowledge. But
Portable
but
library.
that's the only use that it has so far, and it is alive. It
Okay,
has a sentience to it.
so I will attempt to talk to it.
Yeah.
And I
So
will
do you want to
say,
try to talk to it telepathically? What would
yeah,
you like? Which
I'll
language
attempt.
would you like to use? Okay.
I'll do telepathically. If I realize that I know Elven now, I'll attempt Elven first, and I'll just say hello.
At first it doesn't respond, but after like really focusing on this, you try telepathically, then you try just speaking to it, and it pulses, and then telepathically it basically explains to you how this can be attuned. So telepathically, what it does, it explains that um, you are going to need to take a book of knowledge, any type of knowledge, and you're going to have to read that book in its presence. This takes a full 8 hours to attune to. So you need to, without taking a rest, you need to actually read for like 8 hours next to it, so it can essentially sync with your mind.
Mm.
Once that's done, the effect will take place and it will be able to base it. Now, keep in mind, it does consume the object forever.
Okay.
So it destroys the object that you bring it in, but then all of the knowledge within that object is now yours to bring up at any moment.
Okay.
And it's instant. So you can basically read 80,000 words instantly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Anya, can you ask it why it doesn't like me? I've seen similar things before, but I'm just curious.
Similar things to this?
Yeah, I mean, strikingly similar, really.
I will
Might
ask
I
it
ask? Yeah.
why. I will ask it why the kobold could not touch it.
Oh, and it responds and says it has nothing to do with it liking you or not liking you. It's just that I cannot be interacted with another one of the objects that were made by the Keeper of Secrets, unfortunately. So at any point, Henri, it knows your name, by the way. It says at any point, if you were to find another artifact that's also made by the Keeper of Secrets, you will also not be able to touch that object.
A worthy sacrifice.
This is all telepathically; no one else can hear. Yep.
Oh, now it's
Uh,
telepathic.
Yeah, you're right. So you will have to convey this to,
Yeah,
you have to
I
convey this to her.
Okay. I
well,
will say out loud to Elder.
before that,
Apparently,
I
yeah.
want to respond to Kino just because it's. I feel like the order of this happening is going to matter. Oh, I've before I died, I was working as something of a archaeologist, so I've gone on expeditions and seen things before.
Oh, the voice is female, by the
Mm,
way. The voice, if that matter, the voice is absolutely female, and it she sounds like even though it has a younger sounding voice, you can tell that it's a very knowledgeable, maybe older, like sentience. But it is a female voice.
Okay, so
Do you
sorry, go ahead.
do you still have the other object, or did you give it up or lose it when you died?
Oh, I have it on me. It's one of those interesting things that I've been allowed to keep.
Huh.
At least I think I do. I haven't actually really checked since I, died. Once
Do you want?
again, that's really weird. I'll
Yeah.
check my bag.
Okay. Yeah. So it's there. Do you take it out?
Uh, yeah, I'm just gonna say, yeah, that's still there.
All right. So it swirls up with immediately when you take it out. It swirls up with what looks like ocean water
She
and a
did say she
storm.
didn't take it out.
I'll take it out if we're
Okay.
doing
No,
it.
no. She said she took it out. Right? You did say that, right?
No, I said I'll just look at it and say it's still there. But if we're doing
Oh,
it,
I'm sorry.
I'll take it
No,
out.
no, no, no. You don't have to. You don't have to.
No, we're already going here. I'll take it out.
Okay. Sorry, I completely misheard that. Sorry. Um.
You're right.
Uh. So yeah. So if you do take it out, it becomes like a storm on the inside with like lightning and other things, and then it glows. And then Elda, you know telepathically that now it essentially wants you. It's going to light you up with some kind of arcane power, and it wants you to try to touch the object.
Huh. I wonder what happens if and I'm gonna at least try and tap it against the other one.
Okay.
I'm saying this as if I do not actually know.
Yep. Right.
Yeah,
So
found this thing during a ocean expedition. Most of the people I went with perished, unfortunately. It's a shame that happened, but some of us made it back to, oh god, I can't remember the location.
it's all right. So do you go ahead and tap it on?
Yeah, some of us made it back to Daggerford at least.
Okay. It taps solid to it. A bunch of blue light filters around your object honoring and basically goes inside of this object. And then inside of it, you see a perfect replica of whatever it is. So Elda, as a side effect, you now know everything there is to know about the magic object that identify could basically go through. On top of that, you know you've done a good job instinctively, and you feel like relief and happiness and an adrenaline rush, and that's it. It goes away after that.
Huh, that's neat. Weird.
Huh.
Yeah, I found this during a ocean expedition, which,
Make a
mm,
perception check, everyone that saw that.
Passive 19.
Yeah, you're not gonna know, unfortunately. Unfortunately, Ibram's never seen this before, but I'll give you some details though. But everyone else make a perception check.
All right.
I'll roll to see if I get higher. I doubt
Yep.
it.
20.
I rolled another 19.
Okay, so you've seen the same kind of magical effect before on Johnny's staff, Kino. It didn't show an object, but the same bluish light, the same look that Johnny had after he had completed something, Elda is kind of wearing on her face as well.
Keener's just kind of squint her eyes at Elda a little bit, and her face is just. Her curious smile is going to fade, and she'll just kind of stone faced look at her.
okay, fine. Yes, I do have an employer. I wasn't gonna bring it up, but I am, in fact, employed by somebody.
Go on.
Are you guys speaking in common? Just
I'll,
want to make
I'll
sure.
They
be
are.
speaking in common, yeah.
Yeah, they are.
The alternative is I'm speaking in Draconic, since I think that's the only thing that Kino shares with me.
Yeah, that's why I was asking.
But yeah, I mean, I am employed. Um, so yeah.
Yeah?
Well, I mean,
By
we all
who?
have our employers. You, uh, the pal,
One's employed.
the cleric. Everyone here has someone they're employed by. I'm pretty sure.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, huh?
Nuh-uh.
Hers is Artemis. She just
Oh.
doesn't.
No.
I
Oh.
ran
got
away
it.
from Artemis. It doesn't count. So I don't have an employer. Yeah.
I have an employer.
I don't.
She look. You give her one magic item, she gets so cocky. She's gone mad with
Seeing
that.
how it affects her, now we can't give Grin anything.
So,
I
well, I
ruined
mean,
it for Grin.
you
What's
saw
up?
the last thing we gave Grin.
I'm all right.
What's so bad about having an employer?
But I mean,
So go on.
oh,
Tell us
what questions do you have?
what's her name, title.
I don't know if I even should necessarily
I can
just
say it.
say that. I mean, that is fair. You have already said it.
Actually,
But
no.
wait, didn't you say that out loud?
I
Or
was about to, but you said that you wanted to finish your talk
oh
with
no,
Kino first.
I thought you said it after I said that to Kino. My bad.
Mostly, I was just sitting here waiting for the conversation to be over, and then I was going to say it out loud, but this seems like a great time to bring it up.
Yeah. Actually, I'll just okay. So you did not say it, so in that case I'll say so I'm employed by well, likely the same person who made that item. Um they are a keeper of knowledge of sorts. Um they are they saved my life and I am dead to them. I'm really not sure how many times I've died. At least the one, might be two. Um and it is because of them that the maybe first time I came back from. After all, I said that I was in a disastrous ocean expedition, and well, I was saved from that, and I am now employed.
So you wait.
So,
Does that make you undead?
Oh no, I'm very much so alive. I mean, I've been brought back from the dead at least the one other time now. Still not sure what happened there. You all probably know better since you were in that cabin.
the same one that employed Johnny?
I have no idea who that is.
Insight
Hmm.
check.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
will also
I know
check
who
it.
that is in terms of you told me that you had somebody named Johnny who died in
Yeah.
there. But I don't
Yeah,
know.
you can do the insight check. She has to oppose it, but go ahead and roll and see what we get. Even when you're telling the truth, you have to oppose
Oh,
it.
that's a nat 20. Wow. I wish that
So
was me
so
actually lying.
so here's the thing.
Ooh.
So Elda's going to come across sincere no matter what. Now you're not going to, as a player in meta, you're not going to know, but sincerely, Elda says that she truly doesn't know who Johnny was at all, and you believe that to be sincere.
I'm pretty sure that's sincere in person too.
Yeah.
Well,
Would
she
I
rolled
actually?
a 20, but I rolled a 28.
Would
Okay, well in that case, if you beat her, then she has to tell the truth, and the truth is that she doesn't actually know who Johnny is.
wait? Can you guidance yourself?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
You
I
can.
wish I knew that before. For other, I'm gonna be
Nice.
doing that in the future.
Some DMs don't let you, but it's like rules.
Yeah,
written, you can.
raw. It's pretty much you can guidance yourself. Yeah.
Nice. I did not know that.
Yeah, that's why it's like clutch for
Yeah.
clerics, because you just literally just shout like guidance over everything and it just goes.
Yeah.
I
Exactly. Yep.
really don't know who that is aside from what you have told me about him. I
So
am
you,
grateful in that I, you know,
Yep.
am just an archaeologist who's doing their thing.
for the Mistress of Secrets.
Never heard of a kobold
Well-
archaeologist.
Obviously, you know her name then. Yeah, I am in fact employed by her. That's just, she did save my life. I am indebted, and I am grateful for that. So I'll do service in exchange.
So
Do you have past experience with her? Most people don't know about her.
you could say we do.
Well, I can answer. It was bad experiences? Hopefully not.
mixed
Quite
bag.
bad.
Is there anything I can do to help massage those? I mean, while I work for her, I don't worship her.
Why
I
don't you figure out what she's doing with the book, about the item that she gave Henri, about what happened to Johnny?
what book? And I really I don't know who this Johnny person is.
We
Um,
gave.
You're gonna have to tell me some things because I have no idea what this book even is.
Am I the only one who has no idea what they're talking about?
Well,
This is
according,
gonna be a
Yeah, pretty much.
really esoteric thing.
All right, I'll just tune back out.
Yeah, like, can you at least give me some explanations of what's happened?
we
I
gave
will answer
her.
what questions I can.
We gave her a very powerful artifact a little while ago.
Well, a little while ago I was dead, so I probably wouldn't know anything from then.
It may be a story for another day. For now, we should continue through here and put a pin in this.
Very well. We should move on. Just know that I don't mean anyone here any ill will. I literally just work for her. She is the reason I'm alive, and simple as that.
Well, know that we know her objective and how you gain knowledge. We just ask that you're tactful and realize when it's appropriate to do so.
Oh, of
Don't
course, I'm not gonna just like run for something if it might get me or the rest of you killed.
don't
Well,
pull
that's
it
what
out
the
in a
last one
tavern.
did.
So, are you guys cross with her boss? That seems
Yes
to be
and
what
no.
I'm.
I like
Seems to
her
be what I'm
boss.
getting.
I
Her boss is
Our
powerful,
boss
but
gave us her grin back, so we can't hold much against her.
I mean, I I recognize that working with a group is a important thing, and I'm not gonna just endanger you all. After all, you've been nothing but kind to me so far.
Quick question, Chris.
Insight check.
Also,
Yes. Yep.
I'm just
Um,
kidding.
Yep.
is the hourglass also something that I had to attune to? Is it something also that I'm
Yes.
attuned to? Okay,
It
can I
is.
get that on D&D Beyond as well, just because I want to
Yes.
try to keep track of what I'm attuned to right now?
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
before I forget as well, as for that item, it's just a store of knowledge. You give it some knowledge in a book, and in return, it will give you some knowledge.
Hmm.
It's kind of like a magical library of sorts, I suppose.
What I understand of it seems like it could be very powerful, but it takes some
Well, it needs,
skilled
you to
usage
give it
of it.
some, you need to give it some knowledge in exchange, but
Yep.
there are books around aplenty.
And Henri, you instinctively know that if you do a good job and you keep feeding this thing, that if the more it likes you, the more it will give up ancient things that it deems important to you, as its kind of like reciprocal gift.
Chris, I'm literally so fucking excited for this.
Oh my god.
But
I'm
it's
so
like
excited.
but understand that each time it goes through that, it's a substantial amount, but it will choose like, and it does very much depend on how much you feed it, essentially. So
Is Henri getting in on the oh god.
Henri, I just want to say something. When you do things it likes, it gives you ancient forgotten secrets.
Potentially.
That's what a lot of cursed items do as well.
Listen, as long as I don't go around trying
Yep.
to push people into goo, I think we should be okay.
You're
Why would
right.
some
I just want to say if it's compelling you to act certain ways, just keep that in mind.
I
wait,
don't think it's compelling me. It's more of an offer. I don't feel like I have no choice in the matter, and I don't even feel like it tried to make me feel that way. It's more of if you do this, then I'll give you
Yeah.
this.
And by
Whereas,
the way,
These are all things someone that was controlled by a magic item would say.
wait a second. Wait a second. Somebody tried pushing somebody into a pile of goo. Did I hear you right?
Pointed grin.
What?
It
What did
wasn't
I do?
I
He's a pusher.
so, by the way, now that you guys have been in this room and you start to gather your bearings, there is an open wall here that's somehow open now, leading all the way back to the forge. And then of course the water and all that stuff.
I guess we'll like walk and talk, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we're going
I-
to continue to explore.
my
We still have more ground to cover.
Okay,
my
that's fine.
theory
So
with these things is that you don't have to do the task. If you do the task, it's encouraged and you get something out of it. But
so
you
the
don't.
so as you start walking through and you get through this, the only other thing that you find is every now and then you'll find more stored away Charlatan weapons. The other magic items are through this direction. The map
And
is telling you that. So through the Underdark into
just,
that.
just for housekeeping's sake, we did ditch the Charlatan spear that we used to pry open the lid, right?
That's-
I assumed you did. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah, that's a good thing to double check though. Okay.
I would take 5 or 10 minutes to rebuild my defender and
Yep.
be ready to
Well,
move
do we
on.
want to take a short rest while we were talking through all this, or
We
We
probably
talk-
have enough time to take a
we-
short rest.
Now
Yeah,
the fast so the only to keep in mind, you either have to leave or you have to go through and fast travel into the Underdark into whatever's beyond there, which is pretty substantial. And you are hitting like an hour 15 at least going through all this. So keep that in mind as well. It's going to take you some time to get back unless you teleport also.
well, do we want to
I-
continue on and get the other 3 items?
I think that's a
Yes.
wise
So
idea.
here's the other thing though. If you continue on, you are within the Underdark, and this is like completely different from the structural castle thing. So it may or may not be Dwarden on the other side. Just keep that in mind. You
There-
would know
What
this.
magic
Like,
items?
there,
yes.
Wrong
Underdark is my
campaign setting.
Um,
okay.
why don't we? Well, there's that pool of stuff next to the Underdark entrance, right?
Yes,
Why don't
that's
we?
right. It's right here. Yep.
Why
And
don't we try getting a vial of that?
Yep.
just a reminder, Underdark is my favorite terrain, so
Yep.
we're gonna have a much easier time
Yeah.
there than in a blizzard.
All right,
And I
so if
think-
we're going to pass that pool, I'll crack out my herbalism kit real quick and a glass bottle.
Yep.
As well as like my dipper and my specialty tools, and I'll try to grab some of that liquid and bottle it safely.
All right.
For what it's worth,
Yeah. Go ahead.
Abel actually has 10 glass bottles that he's made. If there's one of those that seems like it's better fitted to that type of solution, he'd offer that up.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah, I just have standard bottles and vials.
Yeah, so you go through and you take a small sample, you lift it out. Do you use the one that I guess Abel made, or do you use one that you're using currently?
Oh, I would tell him this one's harder, this one's more porous, this one's
Yeah.
better against acids.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would trust the ones that Abe gave me since I know he's a glass blower.
Okay, perfect. So you dip down, you get a sample of it. You don't get any on your hands or anything, but immediately when you put it in to like take it out, it transforms the glass into wood. And the wood is a deep purple, and you can tell that it's going to start to seep in. The liquid will not be able to be contained totally. Like it will get wet around the edges, which means at some point your skin or whatever will come in contact with it. You can tell it's starting to stain
Yeah.
already.
I will gingerly throw it back
the-
to whence it came.
Yep. But you did see it transmutate in front of your eyes into a piece of wood. Yeah, like this perfect replica of whatever the glass vial was that you did, but it was just wooden.
Huh.
I know you guys aren't glass blowers, but there's no wood built in. That's can't happen.
Yeah.
That's very strange.
Huh, I wonder how that guy back in that village managed to get a vial of it. Perhaps I will never know.
Maybe put it in a wood vial that turned to glass.
Maybe. I mean, we could try getting a wood vial, then making a wood vial into glass.
I think it might be wise to just leave the substance as it is.
Very well. It's probably better to do that rather than mess around.
We know where it is
much.
if
Exactly.
we ever really need to have it.
Yeah. Better, let's move on if we are gonna have a hard time getting it. The stuff's dangerous.
Yeah, so we'll make I guess we're going deeper into the Underdark.
Mm.
Hell yeah.
Are
You guys
we
want to do that?
sure? Are we sure we want to do
Now,
this?
Ibram knows. Ibram's very like your character hates these things, and here's why. Ibram hates them because these are fast travel tunnels into the Underdark. So they're not actually straight up teleportation. They're this weird lost form of uh, magic that essentially, as you're walking, you're moving incredibly quickly down corridors that could be 1,000 miles long, and to you it seems like just a couple steps, but they are unstable. And there's been like stories of people like walking into these and starving to death by the time they get out the other side because of whatever reason. the, there's also stories of people walking into them and just never being seen again. If it works and you go through it, um, the other thing is that it's not an always like a you walk into this and just come out the other side. Like it's not always a two-way street when it comes to these things either, which is why Ibram in general doesn't really mess around with them and has never taken one. The other problem with them is that if you do get caught in between and it stops working, then you are stranded. Let's say this one was 4,000 miles across. There is a possibility that you can even get stranded in the middle and then you're just dead unless you can somehow make the 4,000-mile journey after what would probably take you almost a year to do that without any food or anything like that. That's the scary part. That said, lots of very tough things within the Underdark just use these all the time and don't give a damn about any of that because they're necessary. That's the only way to really travel in the Underdark, as it's so massive. It's literally the entire size of Faerun and larger underneath because it's several layers. But
Would
that's why you don't like them, Ibram. They're just kind of nasty, scary things. But
Yeah, he's told him about this before when
yeah,
we came through the first time.
yeah.
Elda have taken these before?
No, Elda. I imagine you would also be in the same boat where, I mean, you could decide to take one, but you would know that these are things that most people do not mess with. Only the tougher kind of like more powerful and crazier like creatures within the Underdark will do this. Like for instance, you know that Mind Flayers, by the way, have always do these. Um, but it doesn't necessarily mean that there's going to be a Mind Flayer on the other side. Abelis are easily like doing these as well. Beholders use these. Some of the stronger things within the Underdark and the more like sinister things also use these. And then of course Drow. Drow will also like entire civilization of Drow are based off these fast travel tunnels. So depending on the cult and everything else, Drow will also use them as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is not a.
But they are dangerous.
It's not a. It's not something you do if you have other options. I
Yeah,
mean, I'm familiar with how they work. I know people that have used them. I know people that have used them and not come back, and
yeah,
it's kind of a toss up.
yeah. And
But
so you know, I don't actually get to control these either. This is a mechanic that's built into second edition. It's just like Abel's teleport. You roll a D100. But anyway,
if you
All right.
go for it.
Why,
if you
I guess the question here I have to ask is why are we taking this way? Do we feel this leads towards the places on the map where
Yes,
the items
that's
are?
what he was. That's exactly right. So Abel,
Okay.
brother will explain to you that the last of the magic items are here. The map
Okay.
tells him that. Yeah.
we can try to
Between his map and my timepiece and I'm wicked smart, we'll get there.
smart.
I just worry about if we dive down this.
So here's the other thing. If so, the good news is, Abel, this is what you do know. If you fail, you will not be able to teleport to the other end because you've never been there if it's truly thousands of miles across.
Oh
However,
no.
it is in Faerun, so you could actually teleport back to where
Yeah.
you were. Right. That's
Someplace. Yeah.
exactly right. Yeah, yeah. So at the very least, you're not going to starve to death.
Mhm.
It's up to you guys.
Unless of course
Brother is not gonna.
unless of course there's like teleportation runes that are like the anti-teleportation runes or anything like that. But you've never heard of that, Abram. So
Have any of you guys been to the Underdark before?
Yeah,
No.
I
No.
lived there actually for a while. Was enslaved there for a while, and yeah, I've been there.
In a
It's
previous life.
What
Yeah.
do you mean?
So
I mean,
wait.
I guess that's true. Huh? Did not think about that.
Um, it's a really it's a really really not fun place, and everything wants to kill you all the time. So
Like
just
everywhere we go.
well, if everywhere you go is like the Underdark, that's kind of worrisome. But I guess
You might
that's neither
get
here nor there.
you might get enslaved by Githyanki. It happens.
It's
Sure.
Yankee. Ooh.
It happens. It might just enslave you to harvest their explosive mushrooms. It happens.
Yeah,
I don't.
yeah, yeah.
I don't
Fire
think I
stalks
know
are
what that
fun.
is.
Fire stalks are fun. If you guys want to do it, if we get to the other side, I'm golden from there. I can get you guys wherever you want to go. But I just wanted for the uninitiated amongst you know what you're getting into. Bullets, umber hulks. There are a lot of things down there that want to eat you. And obviously, I know you can fight, but really, it's kind of the psychological aspect that is the more worrisome part. So, as long as you guys are all put together upstairs, you should be fine.
Yep. And by the way,
Yeah,
I
we'll be
said
fine.
4 items, but you already have 2. You have the multi-tool and the ones. There's actually 2 more items on this side, brother.
Okay.
Just to clarify. Yep.
So 2 more
gotta get
that
'em.
are not
Yeah.
inside the Underdark. They're actually 2 more inside the.
No. They're in the Underdark. It just the map sees this all as one place. It doesn't know it well enough about the fast
So
traveling thing, so it sees all
okay.
this as one location. That's exactly right. Yeah.
We definitely have to go get them.
Yeah.
Might as well. I mean, if we have a safety net.
Yeah, we do.
We can't just waste the money on the map and not go get the things.
I mean, it's also not going to be the only magic items on the map. I don't know. My gut's giving me a weird feeling about this.
We have to collect them all.
We have the safety net, and we have 2 people who've been through the Underdark before. But I
A lot
also
of time.
understand if you don't want to.
I spent a lot of time there, like a year and a half.
But I just worry about spending too much time down there and then neglecting 10 towns and the Nautilus.
We won't spend too much time.
Well,
We'll follow the map and we'll get back.
whatever we do, I reckon we should
15
make a
minutes.
decision on it and move. I, but that's whatever.
Well,
I vote yes.
I vote yes as well.
Hell yeah.
I'm going to give it a no, but I think I'll be outvoted.
Abstain from this one. I really don't have a dog in this fight.
I shall go where the rest of you decide.
And
Honor.
Good, Henry.
You there, Henry?
Sorry, my mic was muted. I thought with Elder abstaining that was automatically majority is yes. Sorry, I didn't realize my vote was needed. What are we voting on?
Whether
Just to
to
go
the
in.
Underdark.
Just to go in or not. Yeah.
I will vote with the
'Cause-
rest of the party. I will
I think
also like I'll say I'll
then
I'll
it's
do
really
whatever.
only 1 no. It's only 1 no and 3 yeses. So.
it's 3-1-3.
Yeah, because Ibram and Henri are abstaining.
Elder.
Kino. No, Ibra, Henri, I guess, and Elda then are abstaining. And then there's 3 yeses, right? Gren.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll vote yes.
Okay, well then it wins. Yeah.
But
Yep.
so
Okay.
Come on, Kino, this will be fun.
All right. So who wants to go first to kind of like lead you in? There's 2 mechanics to this. There's a navigation check, and then there's the D100 check.
Should
Before
we
we-
tie a rope around ourselves? That way we can't get.
Ibram will explain to you, and Elda. Actually, Elda, you would know this anyway. No, it'll kill you. Don't like if you tie a rope around yourself with everyone else, it could theoretically like rip you apart. So
Oh, okay.
you don't want to. Yeah. You would just tell them that. Yeah.
Before we go on
So-
to another plane, brother, is there any more messages or sendings you want to get out?
Yeah, I am going to send out 3 messages.
Okay.
Let me just mark the first one quick. Just for my own excuse me, all right, the second message of the day I will send out to Macretus.
Okay.
I will tell him Cancho is on the loose with the ring. I will mention the killing of the Dargar King and the uprising and the demonic presence in 10 Towns and its destruction.
Okay. All right. If you say all that, Macretus will respond to you quickly and just say that he's close on tracking down the other like versions of you, and that the Arcane Brotherhood has a lot going on right now. There seems to be like fractures inside of it, and that's all you get.
Okay.
Abel, that reminds me, next long rest, I have a few questions for the Modron.
Okay. He's acting a little differently lately. But
Yeah.
okay.
Was that it for your sending, brother?
No, I have, let's see here. I have to check the OneNote to make sure I get everything.
Yeah.
What if things go sideways in there? Do you guys know how to navigate without me?
This
Or
is my first rodeo.
make sure to if me and Elda got separated, do you guys have any experience?
I mean, from a
navigating
meta
subterranean
perspective,
structures?
you wouldn't. From a meta perspective, you wouldn't know anything about Flora and Flan in the Underdark. Only Ibram and Elda would. So you wouldn't even know what would kill you or not when it comes to plant life. I'll let you
Could
respond, but yeah.
Do I feel like this is knowledge of like where does this path go that the
It's
Modron might
actually
have because it's probably on a map somewhere?
maybe. Yeah, you could ask it and see.
So
I think we just go for it at this point.
Yeah, you could basically just say we're in Sunblight right now. There's this fast travel thing that you could just say the name from Ibram. Do you know where it goes? And yes, it could. That's a question that could theoretically answer.
I will pull it out and ask that. This is the fast travel path we're on in the Underdark from Shadowblight. Where do you believe this would take us?
Yep, from Sunblight. And go ahead and roll. You get advantage on these.
What am I rolling exactly?
This is the
history, survival.
No, it's this one's the history check. Yep.
Okay. Do I have advantage or no?
Yes, you have advantage. Yep.
In case we get separated or something happens, if you guys are good with it, we can meet up at Xylos Grove. He told me and Kino and Grin how to get there.
Yes.
It's a 27 total with the guidance.
Yep. All right. So it tells you this is going to go to a small stronghold underneath Cholt in the Underdark. It's more than 8,000 miles away, though.
Huh. It was a little fortress under Cholt.
Where's Cholt?
It's the 4th level, by the way. It'll explain to you that this is 4 levels down. So this is not. There's the Upper Dark, which is actually the 1st level of the Underdark. This would be the 4th level down. So this is 7th level, and so is when you start getting to Abylos and other things. But this is a pretty dangerous territory, Ibram. It's pretty deep, and it's far.
Is that about where I would have come from?
I'd have to look at your thing again. I don't think so.
I think I said like mid-level Underdark.
Yeah, this is so that's the 2nd level. It's 2 levels under from where you're normally from.
Okay.
Like kobolds don't normally go to the 4th level. Like this is more like dangerous drow territory / really nasty things. Like Umber Hulks like get born down here and stuff. It's kind of nasty area, but at the same time it's super far away.
I
This is like
imagine I've been
8,000
down there. I've been down that
Yeah.
deep a few times.
Yeah, you don't tend to love to stay down there, but yeah, you've had to like go down there to like grab some things and like do some scouting missions. Because, by the way, some of the Jordan have fortresses down here specifically because they don't want people to mess with them, and they use like basically the dangerous beast as like a fortification essentially. So they're Jordan. I mean the Drugar. The Drugar themselves will also be down here.
Do I feel like this is a two-way transport?
Oh yeah, it explains to you that it's not. You go down this way, it's one way. It does know that for sure.
And where can I go from that point?
You'd have to get up to the surface to get out. So, so you would have to basically go down this direction, and then you'd have to like surface your way out, or somehow use teleport or something.
Oh, I think I
Now
mean
keep in mind
that's
the farther you are away from that, it affects your teleportation. Just keep that in mind.
yeah. Oh, we're going a long way away, and then
Yeah.
this is going to be very circuitous getting back. I feel differently about doing this now.
I think it's a huge gamble for something that's not dire right now.
No, you're right. You're right.
Don't
it's
chicken out
it's
on us,
literally
Abel.
on the other side of the world. So this must be an ancient
Well,
path.
it's not.
This must be a yeah.
I'm confident we could go there, but we're going to go there, then we're going to be on the other side of the world, and then have to find other ways back. Like if it was just go 8,000 miles and then come straight back 8,000 miles in a blink of an eye, I got no problem with that. But one way makes it very different.
There's a whole network of these things running. I mean, it could be, but I get what you're saying. I don't want to really bank on could be. But
Yeah.
didn't you say you
I
could
mean, here's what you
teleport?
guys know. Here's what you guys
Yep.
know. There's got to be a reason for this thing being here, because it's not. I mean, that's the other thing to keep in mind. Like it's here, and it's open. So whatever. I mean, there must be a reason for it. But at the same time, like someone built some blight. It's possible they didn't know, and it's possible this is just like out there. It's
Is
very
there an
possible that
up?
the Drugar
I mean,
scouted
that
and never came back.
that fungus creature, it came
It did
from
go.
here and asked to
Yeah,
go
it
back
did.
through
It
here.
did go through there. Yeah.
So if it came from here and went back through, that's a pretty good indication that be able to come back.
My only question is, how far does teleport go? Will that get us back to where we need from there?
Yes, but it's incredibly difficult. Yes, absolutely. You can teleport anywhere across Faerun, but the chances of mishap are, and the chances of you not even getting close to where you want to teleport, greatly increase. Greatly increase. So yes, teleport does have a range of almost anywhere within Faerun as long as you know where you're teleporting, but it gets real dicey.
So there's some amount of risk involved if we have to teleport back.
Yeah. To the point where you will teleport, and then like your mishap becomes likely instead of like a 5% chance. You actually have less than a 5% chance. You only have a 1% chance on the worst mishap. That greatly increases. And if you do get the worst mishap, you can get like teleported in the middle of the sky, all kinds of stuff. You can get teleported in the middle of the ground because you're in the Underdark. You could literally get teleported into solid walls at that point. It's dangerous.
So ready to head up?
All
And
right, I got
don't
my
forget,
messages sorted out.
Okay.
Okay.
don't forget, we are where we are because of we're easily hidden here. I don't want to pop up from Chult or something go wrong and we're not in Icewind Dale or separated.
Oh,
All
yeah,
right,
it's separated.
you all did say that you
Someone else
were.
got-
Right, I forgot about that.
It depends on the mishap if you go through, but it is Abram will explain
Yeah,
to
it's
you, and so will
possible.
Alda. It's possible to get separated. Yeah.
If if you go get
That's what I
separated
was
in the
about
wrong
to mention.
area,
Yeah, that's what I was about to mention too. Unfortunately, this is where it gets a little more dicey, unfortunately. So it's actually fine if the group gets separated, except for the fact that Abel's really the only one that can teleport you. So Abel's okay, but like maybe half the group isn't. Maybe he gets separated on his own,
Alright.
That's where it would get bad.
Since we've spent probably like 15 minutes on this, I just say, like, do we go in or not? No abstain, just do we do it or not? Because if we're not abstaining, I'm for it. Because I feel like we
okay.
spent enough time.
I'm for it as well.
I'm for it.
Still a no.
So we have 3 yeses. There's still 1 no. Who else? John?
I think it's comparative of what the more pressing issues we have going on right now. It's a big risk to take for 2 items.
All right, and Tom?
I still want those items though.
All right, and Amanda?
Do we have any idea of what the items actually are?
No, you just know that they're powerful magic items.
What are the
on
items?
list.
The items we found were my tool and this thing
Yeah.
here.
And
Was
there's
there
2
another
more.
one?
Which were pretty awesome. Yeah, and there's 2 more. There's 2 more within this area. Yeah.
They're pretty awesome, but there's a chance there also might be more on the Nautilus or back in town or something.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think
That
the
is definitely
important
true.
thing is that we don't have to go there right now.
I mean,
Okay.
Especially with all the destruction that just happened, it might be more important to kind of steady the area and see, especially with the wizard asking for us to meet with them, they might have more information on something else that's going on. This may not be the end of what's happening in the area, and I just don't think it would be a good idea to possibly get stuck in another dimension.
Yeah, I
well,
agree.
at the moment we have 4 yeses and 3 nos then, which is everybody, so...
I'm outvoted.
All right, I guess we go for it then.
All right, guys.
Before we do, let
there
me
we
get
go.
the messages out of the way.
Yep.
All right. First message will be to the Duchess. Just to let her know that the area is cleared, the king is dead, and asking if she's still here and safe.
Okay. You said that to the Duchess, right?
Correct.
Yeah, she does not respond. Yep.
All right, so she's dead.
Or mad at us.
Alright. Either or.
She's either dead or dead to us.
All right, the next message will go to Karsus.
Yep.
And pretty much tell him, 10 towns is in ruins, thwarted the Durgar invasion, larger demonic plot.
Yep. He responds and says, "A little busy. Also, as a heads up, Arcane Brotherhood is going through a civil war right now.
I just
Don't have
came-
much details."
And I will let the rest of the group know because that's 2 reports of that we have.
Yeah.
And the last message of the day is I'm upcasting these at 4th level slots.
Okay.
The last one of the day will go to Artemis.
Mhm.
And detail that some of us are being called back into the tomb 50 years earlier than our original visit, and experiencing things with people in that tomb.
Yep. No response yet on Artemis.
It's usually anyway. We'll wait for that
Yeah.
one to come back.
Yeah.
And that is the rest of my
Okay.
messages for the day.
All right. All right. So if you're gonna go through, first we need someone to make a wilderness check, which is just navigation in this case.
That's going to be
Is
gauge.
anyone better than? I'm skilled and kind of wise. Anyone especially good at it?
Have advantage on these checks in favorite turn.
Why don't you make them then? Because I can boost you if you mess up.
All right. So you guys are gonna stand behind Ibram, and he's going to walk through first and kind of like reassure everyone. So go ahead.
I was gonna say this is it would probably be a good time for a portent just to be on the safe side, but I can roll if you guys want me to.
It's
The one thing you
advantage,
will
and I
not be
can add
so
+5.
so
Okay.
just keep in mind you will not be Amanda, the one thing you won't be able to portent is the check to the actual the D100 check because it's
Yeah.
literally out. Yeah, it's literally out
I
of
can
your
only
control.
I can only do D20s anyways. So like even the teleportation check, like I can't point on that.
So
Right.
it's a wisdom check or survival. Could I do survival?
You can do survival actually. Yeah.
Brother, are you guidancing him?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
And
So you guys
Abel's giving advantage.
go ahead. What's the first check? Yeah.
23.
Okay. So you're able to pretty easily walk in the center even though the edges. So once you get to around here, the edges of the walls start to blur and it looks like each one of these sides here starts to move at a sickening fast pace to the point that if you weren't all behind Ibram like trying to figure this out, you would just fall and hurt yourself and maybe get shunted off or whatever. It's very disorienting and it's like being on a speeding highway in each direction, but the stones in front of you are safe and fine
Guys,
to walk.
pick
So,
pick a
yep,
point downrange and stare at it and just
yep.
ignore your peripherals.
And on top of that, everyone's kind of like woozy and uneasy, and it's a little dizzying. As you start walking through this, who wants to make a D100 roll? Anyone can make it, but only one.
I think maybe you should just make it Chris on the stream.
Yeah, I can if you guys want me to, or if you guys want to as well. It's up to you. Do you want me to do it?
Yeah, I don't
I
think it
don't have
matters.
any way to affect it, so
Yeah, let's just spin
All
this
right,
wheel.
we'll do.
so see the dice drop.
Well, guys. All right, so 26%. So,
Oh boy.
um, so
Sounds safe enough.
yeah, that's you. So this is what ends up happening. After around 3 minutes or so, you stop. Everything stops dead in its tracks, and you guys see what looks like on each direction of you miles of uh, like basically the same thing that you saw. You've been stuck. You don't know at what point, but you're now stuck in the middle of this thing. It's stopped working essentially. This is what you've always feared, Ibram. This is like your worst fears coming true right now. You are stuck in the middle of this fast travel hall.
Is there like an accident? How do I fix it?
You can, there's a couple different things. Number one, anyone can now scout up and down. Ibram, you're decently good at this. It's going to take you like 30 minutes or so. You can try to figure out how much you've been inside of it. The good news is that you literally just got under the failure rate, so it's not like you're in the middle, which would have been the worst case scenario, 4,000 miles on each side. But you are stuck at some way. So, Ibram, go ahead and if you want to scout up and down, it's going to take him like 30 minutes. He's going to have to leave you guys and go through and try to figure this out. Let's see if you can get above a 20 and see where you're at.
25.
All right. You're only 40 miles away from where you are, but you are nowhere near this as well. There is a way for you to kickstart this and go through it. Ibram, you would know this from like your like there's a last ditch like survival effort to try to get this going again. Um, but if you do a second fail, you will literally get essentially what's going to end up happening is you'll become like roadkill. It will be terribly bad for you. So it's super dangerous to try to get it to start again if you roll another mishap.
I'll just come back and tell them that. I mean, we're about 40 miles from the end of it.
Yep.
I can feed everyone if you don't have food.
Yeah.
Are we
Anything
all
under
together?
it's a 30% so now that we've done this mechanic once, if you guys do decide to come back or just try it again or whatever, you have a 30% chance of this happening. As it goes down, it gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse to the point that if you roll anything under 10%, it's devastatingly bad. Anything over that is pretty safe.
Okay.
I know a way to get this thing going again if you don't want to walk, but I've been told that if it goes
Yeah.
wonky while you're in the middle of it, you pretty much paint the walls red.
Yeah, and not only that, if you guys had got under 20%, you'd be separated, which would have been devastatingly bad.
An
So,
an
I can.
extra day and a half travel isn't the worst thing to ever happen.
I
Are you
yeah.
sinking a day and a half into this now?
well, that's the thing. Abel can still teleport out. It's
It's
not that far away.
it's the risk that we. It's the
Yeah.
risk, you know.
Yeah, so Abel, you can still teleport out. Your chance of mishap to go up, but it's not like it's a 4,000 miles up. We're
So where
talking
do
you
we
have an
want to
80%
teleport to?
chance. Yeah, you have an 80% chance of mishap at 4,000 at 8,000 or even 5,000 over. It's
Mhm.
almost like you're going to mishap no matter what. But you have a decent chance of mishap, but you can still get out of this.
If you need somewhere safe, you could teleport back to the mountains, and no matter where we land on those mountains,
Yeah.
I can get us out of there.
You could even try
No,
to teleport in front of the lake. You've already done it once, Abel. So
Yeah, I think the
yeah.
lake is a safe way to go. I mean, we did all the math for that and have the notes for it. So I mean, that's pretty safe.
I mean, the way I
Oh,
we
see
we're already halfway
it,
here.
we've already sunk our time into
Oh no
this.
no, you're not
Yeah.
even close to halfway there. It's 8,000 miles away, and you're only 40 miles out or so. So you're not even close to halfway.
I
But
thought you said
thank
Okay.
God.
I thought you
Yeah.
said we were 40
No,
miles.
Oh,
no. That's why if you were at 4,000 miles, Abel, I would suggest you don't teleport.
Okay,
What I'm
we're
yeah.
saying is no.
So we
You're
only
just
went
miles
40
in.
miles. We only
Yeah,
went
yeah,
40
yeah,
miles.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, you're not even
Okay.
close to there. Yeah, yeah. You can
oh
start
yeah.
it again too. That's another option. You could just start it again. No, that's what I'm saying. You guys got pretty high on the. You got 26%, which is high to the 30. If you the lower you go, the worse it gets.
Okay. Well, you can do your teleport, and even if you overshoot it by a couple dozen miles, I can guide back.
Yeah. Um. So get your cloaks on and stuff. We're gonna be outside. Um. Who is able to do feather fall?
Me?
I can cast fly. It's
Or, I mean, what you could do, which is even the safest thing, is just teleport right back to the where you were, which you could totally do. The only thing is if you
Nah.
try this again, yeah, you're stuck. Exactly. Yeah.
So, which town was it that we had teleported to before? Is that the same town we want to go to?
Bryn Shadar?
All right. So we're aiming for the lake, you know, above it, you
Yeah.
know, um,
Yeah. And at this point, you're decently like when you roll the
yep,
mishap. This will count as very familiar. It's just the mishap goes so that I'm very familiar. You only have a 1 to 5% chance of ever failing. The problem is it's amplified because you're far. So
so if we're down, we're underwater. If we're up, we're in the sky. We should
yeah,
be pretty good. And just be ready with your feather falls. Hold hands.
yeah.
And everyone good? All right.
Yep.
Yep, as good as we
Yeah.
can be.
I
Cool.
activate my timepiece.
All right. Cool. Do you want to roll the D100 so I don't mishap you?
If you feel better about it that way, sure.
It's up to you. It's up to whoever. I
No,
mean,
no,
you
let him
can.
fly on the screen then. I'm good.
You sure? Okay. All
Yeah,
right. All right. Let's do it
adjust
then.
your dice.
All right.
It's nice knowing you all.
You won. I got a 9 in the beginning, so it's going to be 90 something percent. So you guys were able to perfectly get into your target. So you basically teleport right above the lake. Now this is not by the way where she'd asked you to go, but this is right outside of Bryn Shader. But you can get there in like 2 hours. It's so you guys teleport right above the lake. It
Mhm,
is a storm outside. It's an absolute blizzard
mhm.
outside, and we're going to let me get back to the stream here. The weather has gotten much worse.
Mhm.
And you, with Ibram's help, you can get there in 2 hours. It would normally take you around 4.
Okay.
By the way, Bryn Shadar is an absolute shambles. Let's go back to there. Hold on. Man, where is Bryn Shadar? Oops. Spoilers. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Yeah.
I don't think I got such a clear look at that it's much of a spoiler.
Yeah. That's the back of where you were going. All right, here we go. This is totally not Brinchar, sorry. Oh man.
Look away.
Ah, all the spoilers. All right, hold on. Anyway, so you guys, I'll find it. So you guys do teleport back. So the town is in absolute ruin. Things are on fire still. It's smoking. Almost every single building has been destroyed. As you walk in, including both taverns, they're just completely in like rubble and ruin. As you go back and start looking, you know there are a bunch of dead bodies, but by the wounds, these look like Duergar kills, not necessarily dragon kills. And
Do we
the
recognize any of them?
so far, so as you start going through and start looking, so far no, it doesn't look like you it doesn't look like you've recognized any of them actually. Um, and there's not many bodies. There's only like there's less than 20 bodies as you go through and start looking. Here we go. That
Is there a
said,
building
if
that's
I mean, if you guys want to go ahead and do a whole assessment of the town, you can. It's going to take you a couple hours, or you can try to book it to where she'd asked you to meet her.
what do you guys think?
I suggest we get answers first.
All these buildings are destroyed, though.
I feel like we just go for it. How is the
Okay.
weather affecting us?
So the weather, so far, it's not affecting you to the point where you need to like have exhaustion or anything like that. But it's very, 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 very cold. As you start, moving now, and like on this 4-hour journey, um, you will have to make some. You will have to make some saves. You're gonna have to make 4, as a matter of fact. Every
Even
hour,
if
you have
we
to make a
have
save.
the cold resistance and the clothes?
Yes, if you have the cold resistant clothes, you still have to make the saves.
No, I
That
meant
is
cold
correct.
resistance as well on your character.
If you do have cold resistance, if you're allowed to fail them, so you'll see what happens. Like you still make the saves, but you don't have to become exhausted unless you fail a certain amount. So
All right.
yeah,
All right,
so
so
you
it's
can
10,
fail them and not be affected. Yeah.
so it's 10:55. Do we want to continue this or?
Oh yeah,
Well,
it's
right.
a good point. I mean, we could start off. So let's make
If
a
it's
decision on
just
what you want to do
travel,
though.
I'd like to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's. So is everyone making the decision to basically go and try to meet the wizard and see what's going on there? Because if
Yeah.
so,
Wait,
it's just 4 checks. Yeah.
so wait, did you said both the taverns were still up?
No, they're both destroyed.
Oh, they're both destroyed.
Yeah, they're both destroyed.
Ah, shit. So we can't see about those secret rooms.
Should we try and get the fish?
Nah.
They're, I mean, they are rubble, so I mean, you could sift through it, of course. So, but it's up to you guys, and you can always come back too. No, these things are just going to be here, obviously. So,
Let's
Uh,
make that appointment. I mean,
In the future.
'cause we did know there were magical items there, I believe.
Do you have the map out right now?
Actually, that's a fair point. I'll pop the map out real quick and take a look.
all right. It looks so. It looks like there is one magical item within this vicinity, and it looks like it's within the vicinity of the tavern. So you guys go through and walk over there. Sure enough, the only thing standing is that one tower here. Everything else has been completely destroyed in rubble, but this one tower here is still standing. Must be reinforced with something.
Do we want to investigate it?
Yes.
Yeah.
might as
Might as
well.
well.
Okay. All right. So, so you, go ahead and give me investigation checks on the outside of the structure. Anyone who wants to is fine.
That's a 21.
Okay. All right. So, so the one thing that you notice is that this structure is not actually It's not actually wood all the way out. The wood part here is just a
Hmm.
facade. It's actually some kind of like silvery metal that's incredibly hard. Um, Abel, you start to go through and look at it. It looks like this is some kind of weird cylindrical tower made out of adamantium, which is
Oh.
ridiculous for Tin Town. So, I mean, it'd be insanely expensive, unbelievably out of place. But sure enough, and you only know this now because it's mostly destroyed and going through it. There was also some kind of enchantment that was completely broken when
Hmm.
this thing took dragon fire or whatever it did. So as you go through and start looking at it, though, it's a straight cylinder up, almost like it's a tower, maybe
Hmm.
even like some kind of wizard's tower or something.
Yep.
However, when you start taking pieces away and everything else, you notice that there's a symbol on it. It's the symbol of the Arcane Brotherhood.
Huh.
Interesting.
So
He's
the
the
Arcane
path.
Brotherhood have some kind of like wizard's tower, yeah, inside of this thing. Yeah,
Would Abram would have no idea who or what the Arcane Brotherhood is, would he?
correct. No, no.
Is the map reacting as though we're close to the magic item now?
Yep. Yeah, it looks
Do
like
I
it's
feel?
inside. Looks like it's inside this tower, but
So can we see what the magic item is?
no, it's shielded in some way, unfortunately, inside of the tower. But it's sure it's there. You just doesn't. It's not going to be able to tell you what it is because
Mhm.
it's within this wizard's tower.
Well, on we go.
And
Point
by the
out to
way,
brother.
you have now that you get a chance and look at it, this is 100% a wizard's tower. It's some kind of strange arcane tower. It's very possible once you get inside this thing, it's much bigger on the inside, kind of thing. Anyway, it's high level magic.
Let's get in there.
I
Yep.
agree.
Okay.
Let's
All
go.
right. So I don't want this to be frustrating, guys, but this is difficult. So here's the thing: it's a giant metallic piece of adamantium that's smooth with no obvious way to get inside. You literally so able after a little bit and after like 30 minutes, so you guys can basically just not, you don't need to chop down the wood. You can literally just use your strength to pry it through, and it starts collapsing underneath you to the point that there is going to be a point that if you keep going, it's going to expose the tower to everyone. Right now it's just pieces of metal on the opposite side, but you can literally collapse the entire structure if you want. Once that happens, there's no going back. However, as you move your hands through it, it's just one solid piece of adamantium.
Would
Do
it
I
be
feel like this is like that spell or the item?
No, no, this is definitely not the item. It's inside of this thing,
would
Okay.
but it is
No, no,
magic.
no, no.
Yeah.
There's what is it? Instant Fortress or
Oh
something like
yeah,
that?
yeah, correct. But no, no, this is not the magic item. This might very well be magic, but this is not the magic item that Volo has recorded.
Mhm.
uh wait, did you say that there's a way in at the top?
No, no, no. You have no idea. Number one, and number two, these are complicated things. Like there's no obvious way into this thing.
What does Butterball see?
Good
Well,
question. So if Butterball goes to like, do you let Butterball fly around, or do you just want to
Uh-huh.
have? Okay.
I
She will. She'll go fly around and go to the top or whatever. Um, she comes back and she tells you that there's no illusions, but at the same time, she loves this thing. She thinks it's great. She says
all
you should
right.
definitely go inside.
Do I can try something a bit risky. Might end up with me getting hurt, but I can do it. Um, do you want me to try? It wouldn't hurt me too much, but I'll get hurt if it fails.
To know what you're talking
I'm
about.
interested to see how this works.
All right.
Same.
I go up to the tower. I'm going to try to just knock at it first to see like how hollow it sounds.
Sure. It's completely solid, and it doesn't sound like it's hollow at all, but it's probably because it's so thick. But you're not exactly sure.
All right. We're gonna try. Sounds like it's pretty thick. And what diameter is this?
It's actually the size of, so if you can imagine, if this whole tower right here was just collapsed and all the wood went away or whatever, it's a giant cylinder that goes all the way from here. So if you can
What's
imagine, it's a good like 80 feet.
Okay, it's an 80-foot diameter, so it'd be a 40-foot radius.
Oh no,
So
sorry, 80 feet tall. It's around 80 feet tall. It's
no, I
only
meant
it's only around. It's only like 30 feet from end to end. So
all right. So I'll go to one of the sides, face towards the center, and I'm going to cast Dimension Door, going 15 feet straight in front of me.
yep. Do you have any? I don't even think that Henri could stop you. Henri, you don't even know what Dimension Door does, right? You don't have it. Yeah. So okay, go.
It,
Yeah, go ahead and cast it.
Yeah, it says like it can be a place that you can just describe the like distance and direction.
Yeah. No. I know that. I just was curious if Henri knew enough to not do this inside of Wizard Towers, but it doesn't, and you certainly wouldn't know
Yeah.
since it's the first time you're doing it. That's fine.
Didn't say the
So
magic around it is gone though after because I wouldn't be doing this if I knew that there was still magic.
yeah, the whole tower is probably magic.
Okay,
No one's done detect magic. No one's done detect magic yet.
I thought you said that the magic from it was dissipated during the dragon blast.
No. Sorry. The outside of whatever was causing the illusion has dissipated.
Okay,
But it doesn't mean that the tower itself is not
that's
a
different.
magical
Then in that
construct.
case, I wouldn't. I misinterpreted what you said there.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Okay, never mind then.
At some point, I would do a detect magic on it and just ritual cast it. And
If you do that, the whole thing lights up. It's definitely magic from the outside. It's not just the adamantium that's protecting it. There's other things that are protecting it. This is a very expensive, very high level magic item structure in the middle of 10 towns. So, yeah.
I'm guessing you guys really want to get whatever's in there.
Why don't we try the magic pickaxe that we got?
All right.
We do have a couple of them.
Yep.
This is going to go swimmingly.
Yeah, I'll let you try it, but even after 10 minutes or so, it's not even scratching the adamantium.
All right, I figured not.
Yeah.
All right, let's do a check through about all of the exterior then.
To get a really good look at the whole thing, you are going to have to collapse the structure outside of it. The only disadvantage to that is now the whole world knows that there's this giant adamantium structure into it. But if you don't care, then it doesn't matter. That's the best way to get a look at the whole thing, though. Abel
It's
just got
pretty
lucky on the insignia. He got really lucky on it. Yeah.
Is it a disadvantage to us at all?
No, it's just a disadvantage if like other people were also now interested in this.
It's pretty sparsely populated up here, though. A lot of people left and a lot of people passed.
That is a good point. That is a good point.
Yeah, let's clear the area.
Okay. You can do that pretty easily. Grin, you're actually strong enough with like enough help. You could just collapse this whole thing pretty safely now. So if you want to, you can just use your strength and go through it. And this whole thing, it's been badly damaged, so you can collapse this whole thing to see the tower.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So you guys do that. It only can. Can you guys hear me? Okay. It only takes around 10 minutes. It only takes around 10 minutes for you. Like basically the wood timbers start to fall all around you. Grin, you do it in a way that's not dangerous. And then what you see is a giant silver cylinder. At the very top, though, is what looks like 8 different rods. They almost look like they're veins, like weather veins or something, because at the very top of the spindly rods, they each have arcane symbolism that also looks like it's made out of adamantium. And each one of these rods is positioned in a way that they're all the same size. So so it does go up to a point, by the way. So it goes all the way up as if it's like almost like a like a like a rocket or so. It's almost at the very top. There's a point, but then the rods are made so that even though each of the rods are down certain sections at this point, they all kind of level out at the top. And each one has different symbols that you've never ever seen before. These are arcane symbols that no one in this group would know what they are or how they work or what they're for. That said, it does look like there's protections in place because there's no doorway. Ironically, Group B has actually seen the kind of one of these and how they kind of work, but no one here has.
Is what script are the runes in?
It looks like they're magical symbols, so it doesn't even look like they're a language or anything like that. It looks like they're maybe even custom magical symbols, but you're not sure. They're ornate though. They were made really well. There's 8 of them, but yeah. But it is just a silver smooth tower. Silvery smooth tower, yeah.
So, Chris, this means we can make an Arcana check to figure out this magic puzzle, right?
You can make an Arcana check. You can definitely make an Arcana check.
All right. I will aid some Henri.
Yeah, you wouldn't rather just make a separate check?
Well,
have...
I can add 5 to you. I can't add 5 to me.
That's true.
Can we also get a typed out description of what this looks like, just so I can reason it out better?
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't retain things too well when I hear them, but when I can read them, it helps a lot.
Kino made 22, which is what I would have made if Abel did the +5.
Well, I will give 5 to that. Make it 27.
All right, 27 for me for Arcana.
Okay. The one thing that you'll be able to figure out by going through all this is that it needs some kind of magical key or command word to open the door. So it's something that you're gonna need to like infiltrate or get a command word in order to actually get into this thing. Worse, you need to also have the magical signature that it takes to also like go through that. So there's 2 pieces. There's the command word, and then you need to be attuned to the tower itself.
Wasn't there a Brotherhood member around in this town?
Yeah, I mean, you could also just ask the Modron, maybe.
I could do that. Modron 7472. What are the 5 most common key passwords for Brotherhood?
You could ask him for you could ask him for historical um command passwords to open up their towers.
Yeah.
This is going to be sickly difficult, but go ahead and roll and see. You get advantage on these 2.
All right.
None of them will be written down. These are going to be within journals of the Arcane Brotherhood. We have to see if in all of the time if they ever got surfaced. So if anyone was able to ever find one, and even if they did, like, did they actually put it in Candlekeep or something? So go ahead and roll, and we'll see. This is very hard.
17.
Yeah, no, he doesn't know.
I guess they're pretty good about their security.
And now you have him out. May I ask one more question?
Yeah.
Why don't you find out who the heads are?
Oh.
I'm going to take the Professor Orb out, too.
Yeah.
Maybe don't do it right now. Maybe we get in Tiny Hut.
You took it. Oh wait, hey, Kino or Tyler, where's the friendship bracelets at?
They are, I'm assuming, in my pack.
Oh damn it, never mind.
I will just ask the Modron, who are the listed heads of the Brotherhood?
Listed. Chris, if you're talking, we can't
Yeah.
hear you.
So you asked the Modron. Sorry, I was
Who
typing.
who are the listed heads of the Brotherhood?
So it will explain to you that the Brotherhood doesn't actually list. It's that they're all hidden and that they're never written down. However, you can go ahead and what did you get for your roll?
17 was what I got before.
Yeah, it actually it explains that it will try. You can try to ask this again, but you've now failed 2 questions, which you know affects the Modron.
So
Okay.
he only made the 1 check. He never made the check for the second
Oh.
question. 17 is the check for the first question, correct?
Right.
Oh,
right.
If 17 was the check for the command word, that's
Okay,
1
so
fail.
I need to check again.
Yeah.
If this fails, I have an easier question.
20.
Too.
It's still too low. So, no, it doesn't. It can't recall the information from private journals. That they're never ever like you don't get to actually know who these guys are either. There's one super secret one.
Well, I was
and 5. Oh, are you doing just the figurehead? There is a figurehead.
I said listed, so it would tell me whoever's on
Oh,
record.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize. So on record, there's actually only one, and on record, and that's an easy one, and it did succeed. So on record, the leader of the Arcane Brotherhood is a man named it's hold on one second, let me find it. Yep, it's Igor Zelov.
Igor Zelov.
He's a pretty powerful mage. It's also known in like magical circles. He'll tell you this. The Modern will tell you this. It's known in magical circles that this guy is basically just a walking target. They see him as like a if he it's kind of like basically what they go through is that they pick someone that's willing to basically sacrifice his life to be the head of the Arcane Brotherhood in the thought that other wizards will try to eventually kill you or whatever. So it's like a very prestigious, honorable position, but he in no way leads the Arcane Brotherhood.
Mhm.
Grin is gonna knock on the cylinder.
It's actually so thick and so heavy that you can't hear like the pings of an echo or anything like that.
Chris, are we getting cold?
Yes, but you don't have to make the check yet. Yeah. Every
Well,
hour
guys,
you'll have to make it.
I've done all I can do.
Yeah, this doesn't really seem like a situation that I can help.
Yeah. So with all your checks, both of you would know there's a couple different ways. Number one, find someone in the Arcane Brotherhood, get the command word, watch them get into the tower, go through it that way. Honore, the other thing, actually, Abel, you would know this too. The only other way to do it is to dispel the entire tower, which is probably next to impossible or very hard, I mean, it is something you could do. And then somehow be able to chip away at adamantium, which is really, really difficult. So good luck. But those are the two things. But right now, it's got protections on it on top of
I
all of
mean,
this.
I can't cast it, but I mean, if we could power through, I mean, there's certain ways to
Yeah.
weaken
You
the
also
magics.
you would also know that anytime you cast any kind of magic on this tower, it alerts multiple sectors of the Arcane Brotherhood. It's not just going to alert the person who made it. It's also going to alert everyone that's attuned to this tower. It will also alert, like, presumably any security system they've set up with this as well.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, the good news is that some magical effects have already hit it, like the dragon. So they've already been alerted theoretically, but.
Mm-hmm.
Grin, I'm gonna go throw rocks at broken windows if you want to come.
Could I identify it?
Yeah, you can identify this. Yep.
All right, I'll identify it.
All right.
Ibram, we could like maybe look for people trapped under rubble while we're doing that
Yeah.
too.
I'm
Yeah,
hoping I can at least get where to put the passcode or password or
Yeah,
how
yeah,
to
yeah. So
format it in, and maybe does it say who's attuned to it?
it does not. So in this case, it doesn't at least. So this is so it has several different forms of protection. If you try to teleport inside of it, it will try to basically kill you. If you try to go through it with any magical means, it also has a failsafe that will try to kill you. If you try to scry within this tower, like if the person that's inside of it tries to scry within this tower, it has an effect that not only lets the person know, but also starts to do a reverse scrying process on the person that's trying to scry within the tower. It also it needs a command word, and this is not a tower that you like. This is not a magic item that you can actually attune to.
Okay.
You have to go through a whole ritual process, and you have to be one of the creators to be able to
Well,
attune
I
to
was
it.
just wondering if I could get a list of the people who'd be
Yeah.
warned by its security system or whatever.
No, no, it's got protections in place so that you can't, unfortunately.
Chris, me and
Now,
Grant.
this is a magical effect. Yep, you're going to throw rocks in windows.
We're gonna
Yep,
go look for survivors
yep.
and do that.
The one thing
Yeah.
that you do know, identifying it now, is that for sure that sends a ping back as well, since it's a magical effect. So,
So yeah, Grin's gonna be like calling out in for survivors in the rubble and all that.
I'll
yep.
go with him. We can't really do anything here.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, that's good. Cool.
This is for smart people, man. We need to go do something we can do.
Yeah.
Yep.
Where's some rocks?
So, Abel, you would communicate to the group that now that you've identified it, at the very least, someone knows that you've identified it. They don't know who you are necessarily. They just know that identify's been thrown at this thing.
I kind of just rang the doorbell when I cast that, I guess.
Yep. Yeah.
So maybe someone will come out.
We're not there.
They are
We're
the
not there
Brotherhood.
Yeah.
We're probably only wanted by half of them.
So, what would you guys like to do?
Find a survivor.
Yep. As you guys are doing that, it's going to take you a little while.
Just a heads up that it is 11:17.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, like that's what I'm saying. If you guys want to end here, we can. Did you guys want to decide to go off, or did you want to decide to like start the session here? Is basically what I'm trying to get at.
I think getting in this tower is really important.
Yep.
Yeah.
I would say the tower.
Okay. So we'll start here. Okay. Cool.
Find a place to hunker down in some of the nearby buildings.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Some of us can probably use a short rest.
I made one skill check and I failed it with a 3.
So eventually, since everyone's staying here before we leave, eventually you'll go through and you'll find that every single person that's still in this town is actually dead. And they were killed in brutal, awful ways. It's always like slashing wounds, to the
Do we
point that
notice like the same like sigils and runes and shit?
well, so you don't find any weapons or anything, but you notice that it's all like execution style kills. It's it's by the Shurgar.
And this is why
And it's everything. It's like women and children and men. It's indiscriminate. So the people that are left, you only find 34 bodies. So it's not that many people. It could have been a lot worse but at the same time, they were just executed. They didn't even fight back. You can tell.
do you guys see why I wanted to kill them all?
No, I agree.
Do any of them appear to be Brotherhood members?
None of them. No, these are all common folk, actually.
If we're gonna take a short rest, should I try teleporting in anyways? Like
Oh,
if we're gonna take
no.
Okay.
It's probably protected versus that.
From a meta point, definitely not. But from a personal point, I mean, from a non-meta point, do it. From a meta point, that would probably be bad.
Oh, I know it'd be terrible. There's also a part of me that's just like, but what if? But yeah, I know that it's likely to end extremely
Abel
badly.
advises you against it.
Yep.
You do
So I
what
said
you want to
sometimes
do.
these scenes can be frustrating because they're part of like things, but at the same time, like obviously I don't want to. This is how these towers really work. So
Yep.
yeah.
I'm gonna make a sketch of it in my book. I'm just gonna roughly draw the shape and then also draw. Obviously not capturing all the detail, just the rough lettering of the runes.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, you can.
So, for standing agreement that if we run into any Thurgar in the future, they just get the same treatment.
Well, yeah, that's always my idea.
All right,
I'm
good.
pretty sure the policy you're running with to begin with.
Good. Just wanted to put that into some kind of verbal agreement.
Man, I'm not making a show of it or anything. I just get them out of the way and take care of them.
Yeah, I mean, anybody, by the way, that would be affected by this would be affected. I mean, it's kind of a bad situation. You're walking through, you're seeing the town, you're noticing the dragon didn't kill many people, but at the same time, you have to deal with the fact that you're now walking through literally innocent people that just straight up got murdered. It's probably like this everywhere. So if you could think about what that would be like in real life, it's pretty bad. It would affect everyone that has morality with that. So
Yeah, it's really gonna weigh on Grin.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we will start here, guys. We're gonna start here next session, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
Did
Yeah,
we
sounds
see
good.
this kind of level of carnage when we were in Neverwinter way back as kids?
you saw different kinds of carnage. You didn't necessarily see innocent people getting their throats slit, but you did see a bunch of awful things. Like you saw like
Just
zombies ripping
everyone
people.
getting decimated or
Yeah,
whatever.
exactly. Plus, I mean, but you saw those people fighting back. This would have been,
Okay.
if you had been here, it would have been even more devastatingly bad. I don't know how affected your character really is, to be honest, Abel. You get to decide that because at the end of the day, maybe Abel, he's very rational about these things, but,
Yeah, that's factored in.
yeah, but, but, but this is particularly bad. Like when you walk into a house, I didn't want to go overboard because I don't want this to, like, if it really actually does affect people, I don't want to get too bad. But like you're seeing pretty awful things. Like you're going in and seeing like mothers with their kids, and they're just obviously this was not a good situation. So they were pretty evil about whatever they did. So
And another thing to clarify on. So when I touched my glass thing to the other glass thing, what was the exact thing that happened with me?
So the exact thing that happened to you is that you felt like an adrenaline rush. You know that you did a really good job, and you also felt like this was like purposeful, like exactly what we had. So in meta, this is what we had talked about previously. Like
Yeah.
you're doing good work here.
I meant more so with the item. You said I learned.
Oh yeah, you learned
How it
everything. Sorry, you learned everything about that item. So
worked. Okay.
as it's like you did an identify on it.
Okay.
Yep.
That's all I wanted to check up on. Thank you.
Yep. Yep. All right, cool guys. Yep, we will start off the next session right here, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, sounds good.
Thank you.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah,
Yep,
thank you
thanks,
very
guys.
much.
Thank you.
Good times.
All right.
Good night, all. Have a
Yeah,
good
good
week.
night,
Good night.
everybody.
Yep. Good night.
Oh, and Henri, I'll talk to you real quick about your item too. Give me 1 second.
We're gonna be pact buddies.
Hell yeah.
Even if your pact doesn't make you a warlock, pact buddies.